Chapter 1402. Mao Sanquan was seriously injured and his life was in danger. If they found them, they would definitely treat him first. However, if they were targeted after entering, even if they found Mao Sanquan and the others, they wouldn't be able to treat them in peace. Therefore, they had to enter quietly. Uncle Xian, do you have a way to open this space seal? Sima Lu Feng asked. None of us are array masters. We don't have any comprehension toward space. If we don't want to alarm others, it would be very difficult. Sima Xiuqi said. If it really doesn't work, we'll split up after we go in. We'll lure those people away, and you go save them. Huang Ying said. No, Sima Yue denied. We don't know how many of them there are and how powerful they are. If they have an expert like Grandpa and a lot of people, then it will be very dangerous for you to go. Only then can you go and find them. Huang Ying said. But I can't put you in danger because of this. Sima Yue said, there will be other ways. Although her words made everyone happy, it showed that she still cared about them. However, they didn't have much hope that she had a way. Even Sima Xiuqi couldn't sneak in. What could she do? Sima Yue raised her head and looked at the snow mountain in the distance. Suddenly, her eyes lit up and she said, Grandpa, this spatial seal only seals the sky, right? The underground usually doesn't care, right? Sima Xiuqi said, you want to pass through underground? That's right. Since they don't care about the underground, we'll go through the underground. Sima Yue said. That won't do. Sima Xiuqi said, generally, when we talk about the ground, it includes tens of meters of the surface. Even if we dig a hole here, we won't be able to get through. What if it's a few hundred meters underground? Sima Yue asked. The space seal doesn't just seal a single point. It could be hundreds, thousands of meters, or even thousands of kilometers. Huang Ying said, even if you dig a hole, it's impossible to cross it. It doesn't matter. Sima Yue said, just follow me. Grandpa, help me sense the range of the spatial seal. You can? Give it a try. After Sima Yue finished speaking, she released a stream of fire attribute spiritual energy. The snow began to melt slowly until it reached the soil layer. She immediately congealed a protective circle, enveloping everyone inside. Then she used her earth attribute spiritual power, and the frozen soil turned into muddy water. We're going down. Grandpa, pay attention to the lockdown. She reminded him and then jumped down with everyone. Oh right, we forgot, you're a multifaceted spirit master. Sima Lu Feng cried out. Sima Yue smiled but did not say anything. She controlled the protective circle to sink down, and from time to time, she would inject fresh air through the protective circle. They kept on sinking, and when they were close to 1,000 meters, Sima Xiuqi finally spoke. That's enough. I can no longer feel the fluctuations of the seal here. It's actually so deep underground this time. If it wasn't for the earth attribute, we wouldn't be able to enter at all. Sima Lu Feng said. Seems like the other party has an expert, which is why they can go so deep underground. Sima Xiuqi frowned. Even he might not be able to set up such a seal. Could it be that the other party's ability was above his? Sima Yue controlled the protective circle to move in parallel. Seeing him like this, she said, Grandfather, could it be that the other party's ability is stronger than yours? The possibility is very high. Sima Xiuqi said. Everyone was silent. If that was the case, then this matter was extremely dangerous. Since that's the case, then we can only counter soldiers with arms and water with an earthweir. Sima Yue said. No matter what, she would not implicate them and cause them to lose their lives. They kept on moving underground. They didn't know how far they had walked. When Sima Yue's earth attribute spiritual power was about to be exhausted, they finally reached a place where there was no seal. Sima Yue brought them back to the surface. She estimated that the thickness of the seal was at least 1,000 kilometers. It's almost 1,000 meters deep and it's 1,000 kilometers thick. I don't know how long it is. This is really a big deal. Grandfather, maybe the other party is an array master. They're more proficient in space, but their ability isn't that strong. Let's go find them. Sima Yue took out the scroll that she used in the Immortal Land. After injecting spiritual power, a few dots appeared on it. Grandfather, this direction. She pointed out the location to Sima Xiuqi. After Sima Xiuqi estimated the location, he opened a space tunnel and walked in. They should be nearby. Sima Xiuqi said. Let's look for them. Sima Yue called out many scarlet bees and said, I know it's cold here, but I still have to ask for your help. Go find my senior brothers and sisters. If there's any news, let me know immediately. The scarlet bees flew in all directions. Very quickly, news came back. Grandfather, the bees said that there's someone fighting in that direction. Let's go and take a look. The few of them quickly flew towards the east. They were extremely fast. Very quickly, they saw the two parties fighting. It's senior brothers. Sima Yue shouted. They saw more than 10 people surrounding Jiang Junxian. At this moment he was already covered in wounds. Fresh blood flowed out, dyeing the surrounding snow red. The people around him were still attacking him fiercely. The protective circle he created was about to be broken. Grandfather! Grandmother! Sima Yue shouted. Let's go! Sima Xiuqi said. He flew over with Huang Ying. In a few breaths, they arrived at the battlefield. Sima Yue then realized that their speed was much faster than hers. Previously, they were accommodating her speed. The two elders didn't talk nonsense with these people. After they went up, they directly attacked. After a few attacks, the people surrounding Jiang Junxian were all sent flying. They fell on the snow and didn't know if they were still breathing. Senior brother! Sima Yue ran over and just happened to support Jiang Junxian, who was about to fall. Little junior sister, why are you here? He knelt on one knee. He didn't fall completely because of her support. He thought that he wouldn't be able to escape today. He didn't expect that at the last moment, she would actually appear in front of him. Sima Yue took out a pill for him to eat. Then she said, I contacted senior sister and the others and told them that they were here. So I rushed over. How are you now? Where is Director Mao and the others? Jiang Junxian took out a snow Ganoderma and handed it to her. He said, 50 kilometers to the east. Before he could finish his words, he fainted. Sima Yue saw the snow Ganoderma with blood. She guessed that this should be the medicine to save Mao Sanquan. She didn't dare to delay. She called out little Peng and carried Jiang Junxian up. Then, she quickly flew in the direction he said. Chapter 1403. In the cave, Han Miao Shuang looked anxiously at Mao Sanquan, who was lying on the bed for a long while before breathing once. Jun Xian has already been out for 3 days. If he doesn't come back soon, I'm afraid that Director Mao will. In the past few days, they had already thought of all the methods they could think of. Finally, they had dragged it out for so long. But if they didn't come back, Mao Sanquan would lose all hope. I'll go look for them. Shi Qianji got up from the ground and walked out shakily. If you go out like this, I'm afraid you'll fall down after a few steps. Su Xiaoxiao stopped him. But, if he continues like this, I'm afraid he won't last more than half a day, and there's still no news from Jun Xian. I'll go with you, Shi Qiushuang said. Han Miao Shuang turned her head and wanted to say something, but before she could open her mouth, she suddenly cried out in surprise, Junior sister. Little junior sister is here. How do you know? Shi Qiushuang asked. Shi Qianji looked at the scarlet bees that flew to the entrance of the cave, and his eyes flashed with ecstasy. It's really her. I didn't expect her to come so soon. The people of Divine Dragon Sect did not know why Shi Qianji was so agitated all of a sudden, but before they could ask, they felt someone approaching. Then, several figures appeared at the entrance of the cave. Little junior sister. Han Miao Shuang came up and saw the unconscious Jiang Junxian and said, You met him. Yeah, I saw that he was being attacked, so I saved him. Sima Yue said, He's already taken the pill, so he'll be fine for now. Let's not talk about this for now. I'll go and see Director Mao. Alright, quickly go and take a look. He's already exhaling more than he's inhaling less. Han Miao Shuang's eyes reddened as she spoke. Take care of senior brother. Sima Yue stuffed Jiang Junxian into Shi Qianji's hands, then came to the bed. Seeing Mao Sanquan's appearance, her eyes couldn't help but redden. It could be said that there was no part of Mao Sanquan's body that was intact. Bones could be seen in many parts of his limbs. His stomach was also often wounded. Although it had been treated, it still looked scary. Sima Yoyue's heart ached. Every time he saw Mao Sanquan, he was arrogant and full of vitality. But now, lying on the bed, where was the shadow of the past? But now was not the time for her to be sad. Treating him was the most important thing. She put away her emotions and began to examine Mao Sanquan. Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiaoxiao watched as Sima Yoyue's frown deepened. They were afraid that she would say something hopeless, so they held their breaths. The others were also concerned about Mao Sanquan's condition. However, when they saw Sima Yue feeding him pills and injecting needles, they didn't dare to make a sound. Even their breathing became lighter for fear of disturbing her. After a long while, Sima Yue finished inserting all the needles. She let out a long sigh of relief and took out a handkerchief to wipe the sweat on her forehead. Han Miao Shuang looked at Mao Sanquan, who was almost pierced into a sieve, and pursed her lips, asking, "Little junior sister, how is it?" "It's safe for now," Sima Yue said. She took out the snow Ganoderma and sighed, "No wonder senior martial brother gave this to me before he fainted." She cut a thin slice and put it in Mao Sanquan's mouth. She waited for Mao Sanquan's breathing to become even before she kept the needles. At this time, Jiang Junxian woke up. When he saw Sima Yue keeping the needles, he asked, "Little junior sister, Instructor Mao, don't worry. With me here, even if the King of Hell comes personally, he won't be able to take his life." Sima Yue said calmly. "That's good." Jiang Junxian heaved a sigh of relief. Sima Yue kept the needles and said, "What's wrong with you guys? Why can't you guys recover from your injuries?" "I'm ashamed to say this. We've been poisoned. Our wounds can't recover. Healing pills are useless for us," Shi Qianji's master said embarrassedly. "As the Poison King, you've been poisoned. I'm afraid your reputation will be stolen," Sima Xiuqi said. "Poison King?" Sima Yue was stunned for a moment. "That's right. This is my master, the one known as the Poison King, Yuanju," Shi Qianji introduced. "Old man Sima, what did you come here for?" Yuanju and Sima Xiuqi didn't see eye to eye. Just now, in order not to disturb Sima Yoyue's treatment, both of them didn't say anything. Now that she was done, the two of them started to argue. You think I wanted to come here? If it wasn't for my granddaughter coming here, even if you invited me, I wouldn't come." Sima Xiuqi snorted. "I didn't expect that when we meet again, you would be in such dire straits." "You old fart. All right, grandfather Poison King, stop arguing," Sima Yue said. The two of them snorted at the same time, but they kept their mouths shut. Sima Yue didn't expect Sima Xiuqi and the Poison King to know each other. "Poison King, since you guys know how to use poison, why are you still poisoned?" she asked. Yuanju sighed and said, "It's not that there's no cure, but even the cleverest housewife can't cook without rice. We know what the antidote is, but we don't have a way to refine it." Sima Yue nodded. They were trapped in this snowy mountain, and all they could see was a vast expanse of white snow. If they didn't prepare the herbs beforehand, they wouldn't be able to refine the antidote in this kind of environment. "What kind of herbs do you need? Maybe I just happen to have them," she asked. Yuanju listed more than 10 herbs at once. Sima Yue was silent for a moment, then smiled and said, "Coincidentally, I have all of these herbs." She waved her hand, and a pile of herbs appeared in front of Yuanju. Yuanju was a little surprised. The herbs that he listed were all very rare, and some could even be said to be extinct. He didn't expect her to take them all out at once. "Poison King, with these, can you refine the antidote?" Sima Yue asked. "Yes." Yuanju nodded. "Qianji, come with me." The two of them took the herbs to the side of the cave, and without hiding from the crowd, they began to refine pills. Sima Yue didn't care about the antidote, and went in front of Shi Qiushuang. She asked with concern, "Are you okay?" Shi Qiushuang looked at her and felt a lump in her throat. She hugged her, and tears fell directly on her shoulders. Yue, my father is dead. The mythical dragon sect has been destroyed. I have nothing left. Sima Yue could understand her feelings. She reached out and patted her shoulder, comforting her. Don't be afraid. You're still alive. As long as you're alive, you can avenge them. As long as you're alive, there's hope. My world has collapsed. Yue, what should I do? Don't be afraid. You still have so many people by your side. For their sake, you have to pull yourself together. Sima Yue said, what's more, there's a group of people out there looking for your whereabouts. They want to kill you all. You can't fall here. Yes. Shiqiu Shuang let go of her and wiped the tears on her face, saying, I understand. Tell me, what's going on? Reading background default settings classic light blue classic light gray classic green classic bright yellow dark blue ocean autumn abundant green elegant red powder aristocratic family red talk thick sea wide sky broken heart past snow white world gray world font color default settings white red green blue brown font size default settings small medium large speed 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 1 0 mouse scroll description 1 to 10 1 is the slowest 10 is the fastest. Chapter 1404. Everyone else had left and only Sima Yue, Mu Si and Siyu were still eating. He Bo and Di Wu flew down after the others left. The others wanted to stop them but because of Sima Yue's words, they could only come down. Missy, do we really have to wait here for 2 days? Di Wu asked dejectedly when he saw the table was almost empty. Those people ate really fast. Young Miss made so much, how could they finish it all? Now, only the plate in front of Miss was left. Sima Yue pushed the barbecued meat in front of her towards him when she saw his greedy look. Di Wu's resentment immediately dissipated. He sat down with a smile. Little sister, I want to ask Di Wu the same question too. Siyu looked at Sima Yue. Do we really have to wait for 2 days? What if they couldn't find a solution after 2 days? Are we really going to wash our hands of it? What do you think? Sima Yue asked. Based on my understanding of you these past 2 days, you definitely won't wash your hands of it. Siyu said confidently. Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. You trust me that much? I don't trust you, I trust my intuition. My intuition has always been accurate. Siyu said. Sima Yue smiled and did not say anything else. Although she said that she would give them 2 days, if Wu Man and the others really couldn't find a solution, could she really leave? Although she didn't have any feelings for this city, there were still so many lives. If she didn't do something within her ability and watched so many lives pass away, she would feel uneasy. When Siyu saw her like this, she knew she had guessed correctly. Am I right? Although you said so much just now to make them think that you really don't care about this matter, we all know that you're actually just trying to anger Zhang Hao and the others. But to be honest, what you did was really satisfying. Do you have a grudge against the Zhang family? Sima Yue asked. The competition between the clans. I don't care about what happens at home, but I've heard about it. Moreover, those people from the Zhang family are really annoying. They are so arrogant. We should teach them a lesson. Isn't that so? I'm angry just watching from behind. Di Wu said, if Master was here, he wouldn't bear to see Miss suffer like this. You're the only one who can make a Zhang family member bark like a dog. River Earl, who usually didn't talk much, finally said something. That's why I say don't provoke women. Women always seek revenge for the smallest grievance. Siyu said with a smile. By the way, I really have to thank you and your father for what happened today. If it wasn't for them not exposing me and giving me an identity, I'm afraid I would have gotten into more trouble. Sima Yue said gratefully. You don't have to be so courteous with me. I've always treated you as my younger sister. Siyu waved her hand. My father and brothers dote on me a lot. They definitely won't embarrass me. When I'm done here, I'll definitely pay you a visit to thank you. You're thanking us? We should be thanking you. Siyu said, if it wasn't for you suppressing this thing, I'm afraid the entire ghost city would have been destroyed. That's why you're our savior. You're probably the only one who thinks that way. I think everyone in the Zhang family wants to get rid of me as soon as possible. They can only think about it now. You can save all the citizens in the city. No matter what, the Zhang family members wouldn't dare to kill you now. See, you analyzed. When this is done, follow me back to the north of the city and ask Ant-Man and my father. See if they really know where your father is. But Sima Yue thought about Wu Man's flirtatious look. She didn't know if she would tell her if she asked. Even if it was because of Cu and the fact that she saved the citizens, she probably would. However, if Wu Man didn't tell her, she would think of other ways to find her father's whereabouts. Why didn't you go back with your father and the rest just now? I stayed behind to accompany you. Cu said, if I didn't stay, you would be here alone. What if someone bullied you? Now that you're a member of the C family in the eyes of others, they would find it weird if we didn't leave some people behind. They would definitely think about how to leave you here alone and then think that I'm just imagining things. Thank you. Sima Yue was really grateful to her. If you want to thank me, then agree to let me stay with you while you're in Ghost City. Don't leave with me. Okay, I won't chase you away now. I'll keep you by my side so that I can use your power to intimidate others. Okay, then we'll see who's the one who's intimidating others. Haha, after eating and drinking to her heart's content, Sima Yue kept the things away. She would take them out to cook at night. Siyu saw the black fog boiling in the pool. She wanted to go over to take a look but was worried that it would pounce over. I didn't think that there would be such a thing in the forbidden area. She thought of the day when the incident happened. She wanted to bring Sima Yue in to take a look. Luckily, she didn't come in at that time. Otherwise, she would have been caught. Sima Yue was also interested in the thing in the pool. Since they had nothing to do now, they might as well interrogate it. For safety's sake, she carried Little Black in her arms and came to the side of the pool. The others followed behind her and came to the side. There was a faint black fog floating above the pool. The black fog in the pool was so thick that it seemed to have condensed into water. Because of her and Little Black's proximity, the water in the pool rippled. She didn't know if it was because of fear or because it wanted to resist. I didn't think that Sure could have its own consciousness. It's a pity that it doesn't know its place. She sighed. That's not fair. Sima Yue heard the hoarse voice from before. Everyone was shocked. Oh my God, so this thing can talk? Siyu patted her chest, looking like she was shocked. What's not fair? Sima Yue wasn't as shocked as the others because she had heard it before. Why did you lock me in here? I want to go out, I want to go out. The voice shouted. At the same time, the water in the pool started to churn even more. It was very agitated now. Sima Yue could hear the unwillingness in its voice. She shrugged and said, you can just stay here quietly. None of us have so much to do. Why did you lock me in here? But I want to go out. The black fog shouted, I don't want to stay here quietly. I want to go out, I want to leave. I want to go out and take a look. Not knowing why, Sima Yue felt that she heard a voice that longed for freedom after being locked up for so many years. Chapter 1405. Woof, woof, woof. Little Black saw that the fellow in the pool was getting more and more excited and was about to spill out. It barked at it twice, and the other party immediately quieted down. Sima Yue patted Blackie's back gratefully and said to the thing in the pool, You've never come out before? That thing seemed to be afraid of Xiao Hei getting angry again, so it spoke carefully. From the moment I gained consciousness, they locked me in here. I've never been able to leave. Ever since you gained sentience? Siyu was shocked. You weren't suppressed because you did something bad? There's no such thing. That voice growled and wasn't so polite to Siyu anymore. I've never done anything. They've been keeping me here for so many years. I want to get out. I want to go out. Pif. Mu Si was injured by the aura released by that thing and spat out a mouthful of blood. Don't be noisy. Sima Yu's internal organs were shaken by his voice as she roared with a frown. She came to Mu Si's side and checked his pulse. Then she took out a pill and fed it to him. If you act like that again, I'll cripple you. She threatened. The water in the pool quieted down. Mu Si, how are you? Siyu ran over to ask. He's fine. He's just injured. He'll be fine after eating some pills. Sima Yue said. She took out a chair and said to Mu Si, sit down and rest. Mu Si's face was pale. He listened to Sima Yue and sat on the chair. In order to prevent this from happening again, Sima Yue casually set up a small enchantment to protect Mu Si. She came to the side of the pool and said, I can hear that you want to leave. However, if you leave, won't this city disappear as well? Is that why they suppressed you? That's not the case. The voice retorted, in the beginning, they imprisoned me here just to obtain power from me. Later, they were afraid that I would turn on them, so they imprisoned me here forever. Who obtained your power? A resident of the city, or the city lord? Sima Yue asked. No matter how powerful I am, I can't support the cultivation of millions of people. If that's the case, it's for the city lords to cultivate. Sima Yue said. Not only the city lord, but also the city lord's successor. But those successors don't come often. That's why they wanted to imprison you here. Who would have thought that after thousands of years, you actually gained your own consciousness? Sima Yue said, and now, you don't want to be restrained, so you started to resist. They were afraid of your revenge, so they could only use an even more powerful seal to suppress you. That's right. All these years, you've accumulated a lot of resentment in your heart. So, when you come out, you'll definitely start a massacre. That's what I thought before, the thing said honestly. I've been suppressed for so many years, and I can't accept it. I want revenge. I want to kill everyone. I want to kill everyone. That thing became agitated again, and the water in the pool began to boil again. Luckily, Mu Si was protected by the enchantment this time, so he didn't get hurt again. How pitiful. Siyu said sympathetically. If she had been trapped in this pool since she was born, she thought about it and shuddered. This thought was too scary. If it was her, she would go crazy. At least she would be like this thing, wanting to destroy everyone. Sima Yue also sympathized with this thing, but she didn't completely believe its words. She had an idea. Such a powerful thing if she kept it? So you're saying that if you leave here, it won't affect the citizens of this city? She asked. No. That voice said, I have nothing to do with this city in the first place. How could anything happen to me? He replied too quickly, which made it hard to believe. Little sister, you're not thinking of saving her, right? Siyu said. Sima Yue didn't think that Siyu would be so sensitive, guessing her thoughts right away. Do you think it's possible? She didn't plan to hide it. If she wanted to find her father, she might need Siyu's help. Also, Siyu had defended her in front of so many people, so she remembered this. Siyu looked at the water in the pool and frowned, saying, I don't understand this thing. If you let it out, what if it hurts people again? Also, I don't think they'll let you let it out. That's true. If I let it out, that old witch probably won't let me leave alive. Sima Yue said. If you let me out, I'll definitely protect you and leave. That thing really knew how to take advantage of loopholes. If I let you out and you acknowledge me as your master, are you willing? Sima Yue asked. That's a good idea. Siyu said, if it acknowledges you as its master, without your orders, it won't hurt anyone else. At the same time, it can protect your safety. No matter how unwilling they are, they won't dare to do anything to you. You don't want it to acknowledge you as its master? Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. Forget it. It's so powerful I don't have the ability to suppress it. Don't even mention acknowledging me as its master, I'll be devoured by it when the time comes. Siyu saw it clearly and didn't lose her rationality just because this thing was powerful. Hebo, who was behind, wanted to say something. He opened his mouth but remained silent in the end. Even Miss was more open-minded than him. This thing was so powerful. If there wasn't anything that could suppress or restrain it, even if it acknowledged her as its master, it could still devour her at any time. If it was light, the master-servant relationship would be flipped. If it was heavy, she might even lose her life. And Sima Yue had Little Black. Anyone could see that this thing was afraid of Little Black. With Little Black around, it wouldn't dare to devour Sima Yue. So if she wanted to keep this thing, only Sima Yue could do it. Sima Yue saw that she understood and felt that she was a girl worth befriending. There were too many greedy people in this world. In this world where power reigns supreme, how many people could see their true nature and not be confused by these temptations? If you have it, you might really be able to find your father this time. However, if you want this thing to acknowledge you as its master, I'm afraid it won't be easy. So you said? Sima Yue also felt that it wouldn't be easy. She turned around and looked into the pond, saying, "If you acknowledge me as your master and I bring you out, would you be willing?" Acknowledge you as my master? Impossible. I won't acknowledge a human as my master. However, if you let me out, I'm willing to do 2 things for you in return. That thing cried out. Really? Do you really think that I'll let you leave for free? Sima Yue shrugged. Either you acknowledge me as your master or you continue to stay here. You choose. Chapter 1406. The others were still thinking about what she meant by going underground, but she had already answered their questions with her actions. She injected earth attribute spiritual energy into the ground, and the ground immediately melted into muddy water. After she jumped in, it returned to its original state. I really didn't expect her to have earth attribute spiritual energy. Shi Qianji exclaimed. I hope she can gain something this time. Han Miao Shuang muttered. Definitely. Jiang Junxian said affirmatively, nothing can be too difficult for her. Sima Yue went all the way down. Because Sima Lu Xian couldn't tell where the mineral vein was, she could only search for it slowly. Fortunately, the underground was not affected by those things, and she soon felt the aura of the mineral vein. Following the aura, it did not take long for Zhang Xian to find a vein. This mineral vein won't do. Sima Lu Xian's voice sounded. If someone was here, they would be shocked. This mineral vein is rather small, so the power inside is definitely not enough. Sima Yue said, Father, is this the mineral vein you discovered back then? Sima Lu Xian denied. At that time, the mineral vein only leaked a little aura, but it made me feel a majestic power. It's definitely not this one. Then I'll look for it again. Sima Yue was not discouraged. She left the place and continued to search underground. Later on, she found a few more, but they were not the one that Sima Lu Xian mentioned. I really didn't expect there to be so many mineral veins here. When she found the 6th mineral vein, she couldn't help but sigh. The Jade Snow Mountain is located on the ice snow plain. The spirit beasts here are much stronger than those in other places, so people rarely come here. In addition, the ice and snow above had concealed the aura of the mineral vein, so no one knew that there was one here. Therefore, those people would not come here to look for the mineral vein. That's why there are so many mineral veins here. Sima Lu Xian explained. If we can develop the mineral veins here, we will be rich. Sima Yue squinted her eyes as she started to plan for the mineral veins. Sima Lu Xian saw the expression on her face in the spirit pagoda, and the corners of his mouth raised into a doting smile as he said with a faint smile, It's indeed not bad. However, you have to overcome the difficulties here first. You should know that Yushua Mountain is not an easy bone to chew. Father, are you talking about those spirit beasts? That's right. The mineral veins are not very useful to those spirit beasts. But everyone will have the same thought, and that is, I can't give you what I don't want. But that also depends on the conditions. Sima Yue said, as long as I can give them what they want, these unimportant things are worthless in the face of benefits. What if you can't meet their conditions? Then just use your fists, Sima Yue said without hesitation. If it doesn't agree, then beat it until it agrees. Ha, you really have your mother's demeanor back then. Sima Lu Xian laughed. Your mother used to be like this too. If someone was not convinced, she would beat them until they were convinced. If you're still not convinced, then let's continue fighting. It's a pity. Sima Yue felt that he was sad again, so she said, Dad, don't think that I'm talking nonsense. I'm confident. Do you think you can be more powerful than those divine beasts? Sima Lu Xian laughed. Do you know what my contracted beast is? That was Crimson Flame. It's the legendary vermilion bird. Its nirvana flame can burn the sky and destroy the earth, not to mention this small snowfield. If those guys don't agree, I'll let Crimson Flame melt all the snow here, so that there won't be any snowflakes in this snowfield. I'll see if those guys are willing. Sima Yue laughed as she said this. Wasn't she acting like a first-class gangster? Hee, this is not bad. Sima Lu Xian laughed too. The sadness in his heart was diluted a lot. When the things at hand are done, I'll bring people over to take a look. Sima Yue said and nodded, putting this on the agenda in her heart. Just based on the few mineral veins we found, if we can develop the mineral veins here, it should be able to maintain a large force for many years. Sima Lu Xian said. They had already found so much. If they found the one that Sima Lu Xian mentioned, wouldn't it be even more powerful? And Sima Yue also felt that the mineral veins here in Jade Snow Mountain were not the only ones in this snowfield. Thinking of having so many mineral veins, she was in a good mood. Sima Lu Xian saw that she was so happy, and a sense of satisfaction rose in his heart. But now, we still have to find the mineral vein that father mentioned. Let's settle things first. Jade Snow Mountain is just a medium-sized mountain range. The range is not very big. Now that we've been searching for so long, we should be able to find it soon. Sima Lu Xian said. But Sima Yue silently memorized the location here, and then continued to search. Sima Lu Xian's analysis was right. Not long after they searched, they felt a majestic aura coming towards her, even with a strong wind. What a strong aura! The power here must be extraordinary. Sima Yue exclaimed in her heart. When she was ready to defend, the power stopped in front of her. Sima Yue was surprised. The power of this attack was condensed. If it hit her, she would be seriously injured even if she didn't die. And looking at the way she attacked just now, it should be very strong. Why did it suddenly stop? You have the nerve to show off in front of me with such little power. Mi Er's voice suddenly sounded in the dark underground. Sima Yue noticed that the aura actually retreated a little. Stupid woman. You actually forgot about me. Mi Er's voice was a little lazy, but also a little angry. Then, a miniature version of Sima Yue appeared in front of her. Sima Yue felt Mi Er's dissatisfaction, and said with a smile, You know how to find mineral veins? Why didn't I know you have this ability? I know a lot of things. Mi Er put his hands on his hips, raised his chin, and was very proud. Who asked you not to look for me in the beginning? If I was here, you wouldn't have to spend so much time. Sima Yue understood. This guy had been watching her looking for this mineral vein. He knew where it was, but he didn't say, just watching her look around. You didn't tell me. She pinched Mi Er's face. That aura just now was surrendering to you. Of course. Mi Er said proudly, Don't talk about this kind of power that just has a spirit. Even if it really has a spirit, it will have to surrender to me when it sees me. I am the king of this world. Haha. Chapter 1407. With this thing's strength, protecting her for 10 years was a very tempting offer for the average person. However, to Sima Yue, it was the same as not having it. She was not interested at all. Seeing her silence, the thing thought that she was considering it and continued, If you think 10 years is not enough, we can extend it to 20 years. As long as you let me out, I promise I won't harm anyone in the city. Sima Yue knew that it had misunderstood and said, I am not considering your offer. I just don't want to talk to you. What do you mean? That thing shouted angrily, feeling that it had been played. I've already told you, either you acknowledge me as your master, or you continue to stay here. I don't intend to discuss other conditions with you. Sima Yue said, If you can accept my conditions, I'll let you out. If you can't accept it, we have nothing to talk about. Do you really think I don't dare to touch you? That thing was angry. The black fog rolled several meters high, as if it wanted to retaliate. Woof woof woof. Little Hay's back was bent, and its front paws were half off the ground. Its eyes were fierce, and it released its aura to look at the things in the pool. Daring to threaten Yu? How bold! The black fog originally wanted to attack Sima Yue, but it was suppressed by Blackie's aura. The black fog on the surface of the water became much thinner. Sima Yue squatted down and carried Little Black. She comforted it, "Little Black, be good. Let's not be angry with it. We'll be leaving in 2 days anyway. Let it stay here forever." That's right, Xiaohei. Anyway, this is its last chance. If it doesn't grab hold of it, when the old witch comes back, it won't be able to recognize her as its master anymore. Siyu said, "Little sister, since there are still 2 more days, let's continue. I still have many arrays to discuss with you." All right. Siyu hooked her arm around Sima Yoyuez and was about to walk back when that guy panicked. "Is there really no other way?" he asked. Sima Yue rejected it without hesitation, as if it was really dispensable to her. Seeing that they were about to start discussing array formations again, that fellow finally compromised. Acknowledging her as his master was better than being imprisoned here forever. However, with Little Black around, it would never be able to turn the tables. Between freedom and dignity, it chose the former in the end. It really wanted to leave this place. Sima Yue and Siyu had their backs facing the pond. When they heard its words, they looked at each other and smiled. With the 2 of them joining forces, how could they not be able to deal with this fellow? The 2 of them turned around and looked at it, asking, "Have you really thought it through?" "I am willing." It gritted its teeth when it said the last 2 words. Presumably, it wasn't really willing. Sima Yue smirked. She did not care whether it was willing or not. As long as it was bound by the contract and suppressed by Blackie, it would not be able to resist. If it really didn't work, there was still the purple extreme heavenly lightning. Since you've agreed, then hurry up and form the contract. Siyu said, "When those people come back and realize that it's gone, it'll be troublesome. Now that you're contracted, hurry up and leave this place." "Won't that bring trouble to your family?" Sima Yue said. "Although they might ask father for it as long as we say that you're gone, they won't dare to do anything to us." Siyu said, "That's still troublesome. You've already helped me a lot. How can I leave after getting into trouble? Furthermore, I still need to find my father. Before I find him, I won't leave." Sima Yue thought for a while and asked the fellow in the pond, "Do you have a way to deceive them?" "I can leave a clone here. Those people won't find out. After a while, it will slowly disappear." "How long can it last?" "At least 2 years. Sima Yue calculated in her heart. 2 years should be enough for her to find her father. When she found her father, it would have been so long ago. Those people would not be able to find her. "Then use your clone." Sima Yue said. "I knew it. You're a woman who values friendship." Siyu smiled and said, "You're good to me. How can I be ungrateful?" Sima Yue said, "Let's form a contract first." Siyu reminded. Sima Yue was troubled. This thing did not have a shape. How could she form a contract with it? "Do you know how to form a contract?" When she asked this, everyone present was stunned. This thing had never appeared before. They really did not know how to form a contract. "I don't know. Hebo, do you know?" Hebo shook his head as well. "I can recognize you as my master." The fellow in the pond said, "Put your hand into the water and I'll recognize you as my master." "Put my hand into the pond?" "Little sister, that's too dangerous." Siyu frowned. Who would let a person put their hand into a spirit beast's body? If it played any tricks and killed Sima Yu when she wasn't on guard, it would be able to escape. "I understand. Don't worry. I know what I'm doing," Sima Yu said. She carried Little Black to the side of the pond. She turned and said, "You guys go outside first. Help me look after Musi. We'll be here. If anything happens, we can help." Siyu said, "If anything happens, you guys won't be of any help even if you stay." Sima Yue said. Thinking about it, Siyu brought Musi and flew away from the plaza. Di Wu and Hebo also left. However, they did not go far. They stopped in the air and observed the situation. Sima Yue squatted down. The water was only a few centimeters above the surface. She reached her hand into the water. She knew that this was not real water. It was just the liquid form of the black mist. When she reached her hand in, she felt a bone-piercing coldness. She felt a surge of energy enter her body from her hand. As soon as the energy entered her body, It began to disperse throughout her body. Furthermore, it carried an offensive nature as it directly attacked her internal organs. ZZ, before that force could reach her vital parts, it was dealt with by the lightning and dissipated. The remaining portion was also surrounded by the top-grade purple lightning. What is this thing? Half of that force was destroyed by the top-grade purple lightning. The remaining force was terrified of the purple lightning around it. I knew it. You're up to no good. Sima Yue scoffed. Do you really think that I'll obediently let you plot against me? The top-grade purple lightning tastes good, right? That fellow never thought that there would be such a powerful thing in Sima Yue's body. It wanted to use this chance to kill her. As long as she died, Little Black would die too. Then there would be no one who could threaten it. Who knew that there was something in her body that could restrain it? Chapter 1408. When Sima Yue and Mi Er came out of the array, they saw a chaotic battle scene. The other side had a large number of people, and even Mao Sanquan, who had just woken up, had joined the battle. In front of Mountain D, the formation had been completely destroyed. Mi Er, go save Director Mao. The rest of you, come with me to fight. She called out all the beasts and gave them an order before flying towards the center of the battle. The beasts were still complaining about how they hadn't had a good fight in a long time. They didn't expect that they would be able to show off their skills so soon. One by one, they impatiently pounced on those people. With their addition, the Divine Dragon Cult's people became a lot more relaxed. Does that Sima Yue? A few people who were standing outside the battlefield recognized Sima Yue and her beasts. No wonder Sima Xiuqi and Huang Ying, those two old fellows, are here. Someone snorted coldly. It is said that Sima Yue is not very strong, but she is very strong. I want to see if she's stronger or if we're stronger. No matter how powerful she was only one person and a group of beasts. They had more than 100 people. Therefore, they were not worried at all when Sima Yue and Shou joined the battle. They could even watch the battle calmly from the side. But soon they could no longer laugh. Sima Yue summoned Little Birdie. Although it did not have a level, its combat power was very strong. Wherever it went, those who were weaker would be burned to ashes. As for those who were more powerful, they also used all their strength to condense the strongest protective circle, which allowed them to avoid the fate of being burned to ashes in the first wave of attacks. However, even though they managed to escape Little Birdie's attack, they were unable to withstand Mi Er's attack. After the black fog passed, all that was left were the skeletons. Not only was the other party stunned, even Mythical Dragon Sect, Mao Sanquan, and Han Miao Shuang were stunned. Who was that person who looked so much like Yu? She was actually so powerful. The people outside the battle were stunned when they saw Mi Er. One was the flames of the vermilion bird, and the other was a black mist with an unknown name. What suspense was there in this battle? Retreat. The leader gave the order, but it was too late. Almost all the people he brought this time were killed by Sima Yue. In the end, only a few people who were far away managed to get the opportunity to leave under the desperate efforts of their subordinates. They actually escaped. Han Miao Shuang said hatefully as she watched the spatial tunnel close. Although they couldn't leave this place, they could still use the spatial tunnel in the sealed space. We weren't able to kill them all. I'm afraid that they will bring more people back soon. Shi Qianji said. They were severely injured this time, so they won't be able to come back anytime soon. Sima Yue said, they still have to discuss how to deal with us. With the sudden addition of Mi Er, they naturally did not dare to act rashly. At the very least, they would discuss what to do. Cough, cough. Mao Sanquan's body was affected. He covered his body and coughed a few times. Sima Yue walked over and supported him, saying, Instructor Mao, your body is so badly injured. Why did you come out? The other party has so many people. How can I hide in Mountain D alone? Mao Sanquan said, you, on the other hand, always make me see you in a new light. Instructor Mao, Grandpa, let's go in first. Sima Yue supported Mao Sanquan into Mountain D, checked his body and fed him some pills before letting him rest. Yue, how is it? Have you found your vein? Huang Yinging asked. Sima Yue nodded. I've found it. I've also confirmed the plan. But you're all injured. Take a rest first. We'll go over there. She didn't say much about the vein. Although she was friends with Shi Shuang, it was better to keep such an important thing a secret. 2 days passed quickly. Just as Sima Yue said, those people didn't send anyone over. Just as Sima Yue said, the other party was frightened by Little Birdie and Mi Er's methods. Although they knew Little Birdie's identity, Mi Er's appearance was too sudden and powerful. Hence, they sent someone to investigate his identity. In these 2 days, everyone's injuries were mostly healed. Sima Yue set up a one-time use array and led everyone in. Just as the formation closed, the light of the formation appeared outside Mountain D. Very quickly, a group of people walked out from inside. Not good. They're trying to escape. Someone shouted. Don't worry, they won't be able to escape. A mustache man calmly touched his beard. Elder Su, sorry to trouble you. The mustache man nodded and led the way into Mountain D. He saw the broken array in the middle of Mountain D. This is a one-time use array. The array stones and array patterns are all broken. Elder Su, are you able to deduce where they are? What's so difficult about that? Su Lu said confidently, as long as there's a trace, I'll know where they went. You just wait and see. Su Lu deduced a few times and very quickly set up the same array. If Sima Yue was here, she would definitely be amazed at this person's array skills. Let's go, boom. Before those people even entered the array, they heard a deafening attack sound. Following that, everyone felt as if the space was shaking. Su Li's expression changed and shouted, Not good. Let's go over quickly. Elder Su, what's wrong? They are attacking my seal. After Su Lu finished speaking, he entered the formation, and those people also entered, disappearing into the Mountain D together. The remaining people waited for them to leave before entering the array in batches. When Su Lu and the rest came out of the array, they saw Mi Er standing on the peak of the snowy mountain. Behind him, there was a visible force rushing out from the peak of the mountain. It rushed into midair and hit the sealed space. Elder Su, what's that? Will this space seal be broken by it? The power of the mine. They actually used the power of the mine to attack my seal. Su Lu was extremely shocked. He was not only shocked by the existence of the mine, he was even more shocked that Mi Er could actually control the power of the power. There's actually a mine here. The person beside Su Lu trembled. If this matter was reported, wouldn't the sect reward him handsomely? Don't be happy too early. The power of the mine has been used by them. I'm afraid it's already messed up. This place is already an abandoned mine. Although Su Lu was not a Seeker Spirit Master, because he had a Seeker Spirit Master senior brother, he had some understanding of the mine. That's a pity. That person said regretfully. But now was not the time to discuss the mine. Elder Su, will this sealed space be broken? It's hard to say. Go and get someone to stop him from continuing his attack. Su Lu saw that Mi Er was about to attack again and shouted. Chapter 1409. The person beside Su Lu also noticed that Mi Er was about to launch his next attack. With a wave of his hand, his subordinates all charged towards Mi Er. You overestimate yourself. Mi Er sneered and stretched out his hands. There was a commotion from the top of the 4 mountains not far away from the mountain peak. Then the snow mountain collapsed. 4 forces rushed out from the top of the mountain and went straight for the people who were attacking. Everywhere they went, those people were forced to retreat. Sima Yue and the rest who had just returned from afar were so shocked that their jaws almost dropped to the ground. This is simply... They were speechless as they stared at Mi Er. How could there be someone in this world who could control the power of Shi so freely? As for Su Lu and the others who were watching from afar, when they saw this scene, they couldn't say that they were shocked, but horrified. What kind of spirit beast was this? Haha. Mi Er laughed and controlled the power of Shi to attack everywhere. More and more people came, but none of them could get close to Mi Er. Mi Er, stop fooling around. Let's get down to business. Sima Yue shouted. Sima Yue frowned as she looked at the people who were still coming through the space tunnel and array formation. Why are there so many people here? She looked at Shi Shuang and the others beside her. There were only a few dozen people from the mystical dragon sect left alive. Even if the other party wanted to exterminate them, they shouldn't have sent so many people, right? Could it be that they were hiding something from her? Shi Shuang looked at Sima Yue's undisguised gaze and felt guilty. Yue, I think I need to know the truth. Sima Yue interrupted Shi Shuang. She didn't want to listen to those pompous excuses. She wanted the truth. Shi Shuang looked at her, bit her lip, and said, I'm sorry, Yue. I have my reasons. Qiu Shuang, I've always trusted you. Sima Yue said, but I hope my trust won't be used by you. If that's the case, I don't know if I'll forgive you. Shi Shuang's body trembled. She did not expect Sima Yue to say such harsh words. Shi Qianji did not want to see Shi Shuang sad. He went forward and grabbed her hand. Looking at Sima Yue, he said, we never thought of using you. However, there are some things that we can't tell you right now. But you have to believe that we won't use you. If you save us, we will be grateful. If you don't save us, we won't say anything. Sima Yue pointed at the increasing number of people and said, there are so many people. It shouldn't be as simple as killing all of them, right? Yue, actually. Shi Shuang wanted to say something but was stopped by Shi Qianji. Junior sister, don't say it. Senior brother, do you think we can keep this a secret? Besides, Yue won't be greedy for it. Shi Shuang smiled at Shi Qianji, then looked at Sima Yue and continued, not long ago, father sent people to find something. I think it's this thing that caused this disaster. Is it related to the sky splitter? Sima Yue guessed. Shi Shuang nodded. Do you know about the heart of glazed glass? Heart of glazed glass? What's that for? The heart of glazed glass can clear one's mind. If it's used during meditation, it can help one understand. If it's held in one's hand during cultivation, it can prevent one from going berserk. If one has already gone berserk, it can clear one's mind. Shi Shuang said, it's this kind of treasure that made these people guess that the sky splitter is still with us. Sima Yue understood. Shi Shuang's father must have felt that it was getting harder and harder for him to control his mind. He was getting crazier and crazier, so he sent people to find the heart of glazed glass. However, he did not expect that because he exposed the existence of the sky splitter, it caused this disaster. Those people want the heart of glazed glass. That's why they sent so many people. She said with certainty. I think those people should know about this. Shi Shuang said, with the heart of glazed glass, it can help people resist the corrosion of the sky splitter on their consciousness. Who knows, they might be able to maintain their consciousness while having it. If that's the case, this thing is very important. No wonder they sent so many people. Sima Yue said. I'm sorry, Yue. It's not that I didn't tell you on purpose. Although my father is no longer around, I don't want them to get this. Shi Shuang said. Sima Yue's eyes narrowed slightly, saying, if that's the case, I won't let them snatch this thing away. Thank you. Shi Shuang said gratefully. Sima Yue turned her gaze to Mi-air, watching him control the space to attack. Boom, boom, Sima Yue felt the ripples from the space. The pressure was lessening, which meant that the sealed space was loosening. However, once Mi-air shifted his focus, those people got a breather and turned their target to Sima Yue. Today, I won't let you escape. Su Lu shouted. Is that so? Do you have the ability to do that? Sima Yue's face darkened. You have that array book on you. Su Lu said, if you hand it over obediently, I can let these people spare your life. Sima Yue's heart skipped a beat. How did this guy know about the array book? What did you say? Don't play dumb with me. Su Lu said, your array, I've only seen it in my sect, but it wasn't as exquisite as yours. Other than that book, no one else would know about it. Sima Yue squinted her eyes. You're from the 100 Changing Doors. That's right. So, you better hand over the book obediently. I never thought that the 100 Changing Doors would do something like exterminating a sect. Sima Yue said, "If you want that book, then we'll have to see if you have the ability to do so." After saying that, her figure disappeared on the spot. When she reappeared, she was already beside Su Lu. Su Lu, on the other hand, attacked the spot where she appeared at the same time, causing her sneak attack to go up in smoke. He then teleported and appeared beside Sima Yue, grabbing her by the neck. "Yue! Yu! How dare you! Junior sister!" When the crowd saw that Sima Yue was captured, they cried out in shock. They wanted to go up and save her, but Su Lu glared at them. "If you want her to die immediately, then come at me." Su Lu lifted Sima Yue up and faced the crowd. Everyone had no choice but to stop, not daring to go forward. Using teleportation in front of me, that's your biggest mistake. I'm the best at teleportation in the sect. Su Lu laughed coldly. "If you want to live, then hand over the array book obediently." Sima Yue's face lit up with a smile. She wasn't as afraid as he expected. "Capturing me is your biggest mistake in life." Seeing her smile, Su Lu felt a chill in his heart, but it was all too late. Chapter 14:10. Sima Yue smiled at him and grabbed his hand that was strangling her neck. Then, to his surprise and confusion, a fire snake condensed from her hand and quickly climbed up his hand. In just a breath's time, his entire body was wrapped up. Su Lu let out a blood-curdling scream and fell from the sky. If Sima Yue did not ask little birdie to control the temperature, he would not even have the chance to scream. Since he dared to threaten her, he would not die so easily. Bang! Su Lu fell to the ground and could no longer make any sound. At the same time, his life jade shattered. However, no one knew whether he had fallen to his death or had been burned to death by Xiaoberke. Deep in the mountains of the inner region, a man who was meditating suddenly woke up. He took out Su Li's life token from his interspatial ring. Seeing that the life token was already in pieces, he immediately cried out, Who killed my brother? Who is it? No matter who you are, I will definitely kill you." Sima Yue did not know that she had another enemy. Even if she knew, she would not take it to heart. Her life was not something that could be taken away by any random person. When the others saw that Su Lu had been killed, they immediately cried out, "Heavens! Master Su has been killed. This is bad. Will the 100 changing doors come after us? Why are you panicking? We invited Su Lu here, and we paid him a reward. Even if the 100 changing doors is looking for trouble, they should be looking for her. What does that have to do with us?" That's true. When Sima Yue heard their words, she knew that they were not from the 100 changing doors and heaved a sigh of relief. In her heart, she still hoped that the 100 changing doors wouldn't be the culprit. If this was done by Su Lu alone, then the 100 changing doors would not be implicated. However, the fact that he had killed Su Lu in public could not be concealed any longer. Boom! Mi-air attacked again and the spatial seal was completely broken. "Grandpa!" Sima Yue shouted. Sima Xiuqi nodded and began to open the spatial passage. "We can't let them escape. Surround them." A group of people flew towards Sima Yue in an attempt to stop them. Someone attacked Sima Xiuqi, forcing him to close the spatial passage he had just built. "If you want to stop us, you should deal with these guys first," Sima Yue yelled. Before those people could understand what was going on, the roars of spirit beasts could be heard from afar. Then, several hundred spirit beasts rushed over from afar. Heavens! Why are there so many spirit beasts? These spirit beasts have gone mad. Those spirit beasts rushed over and attacked everyone. However, when they met Sima Yu and the others, they all avoided them. It was as if they only had eyes for those people. "Why aren't they attacking us?" Someone from the Divine Dragon sect asked. "We have an aura that they are afraid of. When they see us, they will naturally stay far away." Shichenji said. As for what that thing was, it was not important. "Grandpa, let's go," Sima Yue said. "All right." Sima Xiuqi opened the spatial passage again and brought everyone in. Those people were too busy dealing with the spirit beasts and did not have the energy to stop them. When Sima Yue went in, she turned back to take a look. Wait for me to come back. Hall Master, those people have left. Should we chase after them? Chase your head. Didn't you see so many spirit beasts? Escape is more important. Retreat. But no matter where they escaped to, those spirit beasts chased after them relentlessly. In the end, only a few people managed to escape. Sima Yue and the others came out of the spatial passage and were already far away from the winter plains. Those people should not be chasing after us. Sima Xiuqi said. Thank you, Grandpa. Sima Yue said gratefully. Thanks this time. I owe you a favor. Yuan Ju snorted. Although he sounded unwilling, the gratitude in his voice was still good. Qiu Shuang, what do you plan to do next? Sima Yue asked. Although we're out of danger for now, it doesn't mean we're really safe. Shi Qiu Shuang said, we have to find a place to hide for a while. Sima Yue understood that they would definitely have their own hiding places. She nodded and said, that's good too. Then we'll take our leave. Mao Senquan said, Miao Shuang, you guys follow me back to the sect. In the sect, even if those people wanted to deal with them, they were too far away to do anything. But Han Miao Shuang looked at Jiang Junxian. He was not considered a member of the sect now. Naturally, he could not go back with them. If he wanted to go with Shi Qiu Shuang and the others, then she had to follow too. Junxian, what do you plan to do? Shi Qianji asked. Jiang Junxian looked at Han Miao Shuang and said, go back with Instructor Mao. It's too tiring to follow me. No matter what, I will be with you. Han Miao Shuang grabbed his hand with a firm attitude. Senior brother, senior sister, why don't you guys go back with me? Sima Yue said. Heartbreak Valley had just merged with Divine Devil Valley. At this time, their strength was not as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. Even if those people wanted to touch them, they would have to think twice. If they went to Heartbreak Valley, their safety would be guaranteed. Unexpectedly, Jiang Junxian shook his head and said, I'm a member of Divine Dragon Sect. Naturally, I have to be with them. I'll be with you. Wherever you go, I'll go. Han Miao Shuang said. Sima Yue looked at them and asked helplessly, Qiu Shuang, is the hiding place absolutely safe? Shi Qiu Shuang was silent. Even the nest was attacked. How could the so-called hiding place be absolutely safe? Her silence made everyone understand what she meant. Sima Yue sighed and said, if you have nowhere to go, go to Heartbreak Valley. You saved us today. We're already very grateful. If those people can't get this thing, they won't give up. We can't implicate you. Shi Qiu Shuang rejected without thinking. Anyway, those people know that this was done by my Heartbreak Valley. It's impossible to get away from it. Sima Yue said, but we also have a request. That is, you can't leak the information of my valley. Yue. Shi Qiu Shuang looked at Sima Yue and bit her lip to stop her tears from falling. All right, if you're grateful to me, you can also make some contributions to us. For example, you can give us your assassination techniques and let us train some powerful assassins. Sima Yue patted her shoulder. All right, these are just worldly possessions. Shi Qiu Shuang understood that she didn't really want her secret technique. She just wanted them to go to Heartbreak Valley to hide in peace. Then it's settled. Let's go back. After Sima Yue finished speaking, she took out a one-time use array and led everyone in after activating it. Chapter 1411. In Heartbreak Valley at this time, it had lost the liveliness of the past few days. All the guests had left, and Heartbreak Valley resumed its usual life. In the formation courtyard of Heartbreak Valley, the light of the formation lit up at this time, attracting the attention of the guards outside. Who would come at this time? Could it be the Vice Valley Lord? I heard that the Valley Lord and the others were asking about the whereabouts of the Vice Valley Lord. Maybe it really is. Let's go in and have a look. The two of them went in together, just in time to see the light of the array getting brighter and brighter. Soon, a group of people appeared in the middle of the array. When they saw Sima Yue, The two of them became excited. They quickly bowed and shouted, "Greetings, Junior Valley Master." Sima Yue nodded at them and said, "Thank you for your hard work. Are the two valley lords in the valley?" "They're all here." Sima Yue said to Shi Shuang, "Come with me to meet the two valley lords. We have to inform them about this." "Two valley lords? Isn't Shimin Feng the only valley lord in your valley?" Shi Shuang asked. "It's like this. More than 2 months ago, Heartbreak Valley and Divine Devil Valley merged and formed a force. Now we have two valley lords." Sima Yue explained to them and told them about the situation in Paramount Valley. "I didn't expect you to come here on such an important day." "Junior sister, thank you," Han Miao Shuang said gratefully. She did not expect Sima Yue to abandon so many guests and go straight to Yushue Mountain to save them. "Although that day is important, it doesn't have to be me. That's why you guys are more important." Sima Yue smiled and brought them to meet Liang Wuming. Liang Wuming had already received news of her return before she arrived. He even knew that she had brought someone back. However, he never thought that she would bring so much trouble. Shimin Feng received the news and also went to the conference hall. He happened to hear her talking about what had happened in the past few days. "Yue, since you've already brought them back, it shouldn't be a problem for us to provide them with a place to hide," Liang Wuming said. "Thank you, Martial Uncle." Sima Yue bowed to Liang Wuming. "Many thanks to the Liang Valley Lord and the Shimin Valley Lord." The people of the Divine Dragon sect also bowed to express their gratitude. "Yue, this is our secret technique. If you master it, you'll be able to conceal your aura better. This is what we use to train assassins." Shi Shuang took out a book and handed it to Sima Yue. She said, "This is what we agreed on before. I'll give it to you now." Sima Yue didn't stand on ceremony either. She passed the book to Liang Wuming and said, "Valley Lord, I'll leave this to the valley. If the disciples in the valley learn this, we'll have another layer of protection." Liang Wuming and the others already knew that the Divine Dragon sect had this kind of treasure book. It would be a lie if they said they didn't covet it. However, they wouldn't share it so casually. That was why they didn't think much about it before. They didn't expect that they would be able to obtain this secret technique today. If all the disciples in the valley learned this, then their strength would rise to another level. "Valley Lord, if there's nothing else, I'll go and arrange their accommodation," Sima Yue said. "Go and arrange it first. Come back after you're done. We'll discuss about Cloud Cave and Zongjing clan's Yin-Yang Palace," Shimin Feng said. Sima Yue understood that they were going to take action. She nodded and said, "I'll be back soon." After she settled Han Miao Shuang and the others, when she came back, the elders and hall masters in the valley were all gathered. "Boss, we heard that you brought the people of the Divine Dragon sect back to the valley?" "Yes," Sima Yue replied. "Are those people reliable?" Heartbreak Valley's antidote was originally researched by Shi Qianji and me. That's why this natural barrier isn't impenetrable to them. Sima Yue said. Also, just now, they all swore that they wouldn't leak our information and wouldn't do anything that would let us down. Hearing that they swore, the others' worries were relieved. With the restriction of the oath, these people wouldn't do anything that would let Paramount Valley down. "Yue, do you think it's possible to let them join us?" Bai Xing asked. "Join us?" Sima Yue was surprised. She never thought of letting them join them. That Yuan Ju is known as the Poison King. He can fight against 100 people alone. If we can recruit him, our life-ending haul will definitely be more powerful. Bai Xing said. "We know that you left after hearing about the Divine Dragon sect. That's why we sent people to investigate." Liang Wuming said, "I heard that Yuan Ju wasn't in the sect at that time. If he was, things wouldn't have turned out like this. The people you brought back now were all brought out by him alone, despite being surrounded by many people. But, if they enter Paramount Valley, we will have to bear their hatred together." Sima Yue said, "They are different from the people from Blood Fiend City. Blood Fiend City mostly has personal grudges. But they are related to the Sky Splitter Devil Sword." Sky Splitter Devil Sword? What's going on? How is this related to the legendary Sky Splitter Devil Sword? the Sky Splitter Devil Sword is no longer the legendary divine weapon. It has been around for decades. Sima Yue said, that year, it had already caused a storm in the inner regions. It's just that we didn't pay much attention to it. Then, she told them about the Sky Splitter Devil Sword's appearance, how it was related to the Divine Dragon sect, how those people destroyed the Divine Dragon sect for the sake of stealing the sword, and how they chased after them because of the heart of glazed glass. I really didn't expect that these people would be involved in so many things. Old Man Devil sighed. Although the Sky Splitter Devil Sword had disappeared for so many years, the people in the continent never stopped searching for it. If they knew which powerhouse those who came to snatch it were, I'm afraid that powerhouse wouldn't end up any better than the Divine Dragon sect. I think those people don't want people to know who they are, so they killed Qiu Shuang and the rest. Sima Yue said, now that they know that we interfered, I think they won't let us go. Then we have to come up with a countermeasure before they make a move. We have to tell them that they have the Sky Splitter Devil Sword. Bai Sheng said, although it's a little harmful, but if you die, then I die. We are now being targeted by a mysterious powerhouse in the inner regions. If this happens again, I'm afraid we won't be able to handle it. Why don't we throw this out? Liang Wuming agreed with this. Let's do this. Sima Yue wasn't a saint. She didn't feel that she should keep the news of the Sky Splitter Devil Sword for the sake of the world. After all, if they didn't take any action, the fire would burn them. Chapter 1412. Book title, Chapter, Apprenticeship, First Disciple Author. Once the news of the appearance of the Sky Splitter was spread out, many people in the entire continent would definitely be involved. However, those who would be dragged into this were all greedy people. If he could recognize the danger of the Sky Splitter in this torrent and not pursue it, he would naturally be able to stay out of it. If we release the news of the Sky Splitter, those people should also spread the news of the glazed heart. Xiao Jingzhong said, if those people knew about the existence of the heart of glazed glass, they would probably come looking for trouble with us. That's easy. Directly release the news of the glazed heart and say that it was stolen along with Sky Splitter. Sima Yue said, will those people believe it? Even if those people don't believe it, some people will. In other words, they won't dare to attack us just because they don't believe the information. Sima Yue said, we are not a force that can be bullied so easily. Yue is right. Old Man Devil said, if the news of the heart of glazed glass is released by the enemy first, then those people will think that it's here. But if we release the news first, and they say that the heart of glazed glass is with us, others may not believe it. In addition, our forces aren't weak. If you want to touch us, you naturally have to think twice. Moreover, if something really happens, the bird race will not sit idly by. Those people have to consider this point. Everyone is right. This matter is settled then. Elder Feng Kai, Elder Shi, I'll leave this matter to you guys. Liang Wuming said, yes, Valley Lord. Next, let's discuss how to deal with the Cloud Cave. Old Xiao, tell Yue about the information and plan we got before. All right. Cloud Cave has been very peaceful recently. That day, she returned to her courtyard from the conference room very late. Before she reached the courtyard, she saw a figure standing at the entrance of the courtyard, looking at her eagerly. Sima Yue walked over and touched his head, saying, Mu Si, why are you standing here? You've been gone for a long time. I'm very worried about you. Mu Si looked at her and his voice was a little hoarse. You've been waiting for me here? Sima Yue asked in surprise. They said that you're back. I can't go to the meeting room, so I can only wait for you here. Mu Si lowered his head, looking a little lonely. Come on, let's go in. Sima Yue held his hand and led him into her courtyard. Mu Si, I'm very busy during this period of time. I don't have much time to accompany you. Are you used to staying here? Yes. The disciples in the valley knew that I was brought back by you. They didn't despise me for being a dark attribute spirit master and even treated me well. Mu Si said softly. That's good, Sima Yue smiled. Once I'm done with the Cloud Cave, I'll start teaching you cultivation. I heard from the disciples in the valley that they are going to attack Cloud Cave soon. Musi asked. The majority of the troops in the valley have already set off today. We'll set off the day after tomorrow. Sima Yue replied. Be good and wait for me to come back. Okay. Musi nodded. Sima Yue saw that he was silent and didn't have much reaction. She sat beside him and asked, What are you thinking about? Musi raised his head and looked at her. He didn't know why she asked that. Every time you're in a daze, you're thinking about something. And it's something that you don't plan to say. Sima Yue said, Tell me, what are you thinking about? Why are you hesitating? Musi looked at her. He finally gathered his courage and said, I want to stay here with you, is that okay? Why do you suddenly want to stay in my courtyard? Did someone bully you? Sima Yue asked. No. Musi shook his head, I just want to stay here. It's not that you can't stay here, but you have to have a good reason. Sima Yue pondered, How about this, are you willing to be my disciple? Be your disciple? Musi widened his eyes and looked at her. He was shocked by this idea. Why are you so surprised? Sima Yue said, Actually, I'm just saying it casually. If you're not willing, I'll still teach you how to cultivate. Musi clenched his fists. I'm willing. If this was the only way for him to be in contact with her openly, he could accept this kind of relationship. Sima Yue didn't think too much about it. The entire valley was filled with light attribute spirit masters. She was the only one with dark attribute. So she was the most suitable person to be his master. Moreover, she was the one who brought him out. His father passed away to save her father. She had the obligation to take care of him. If that's the case, I'll go and inform the Valley Lord and the others to prepare. Sima Yue said. Prepare for what? Prepare for a disciple ceremony. If it was outside, we wouldn't be so particular. But since we're in the valley, we still have to be particular. Sima Yue said, After all, my disciple's position in the valley is not low. All right then. Sima Yue passed down the order. When the disciples in the valley heard that she was going to accept a disciple, they immediately became excited and all of them ran over to watch. When Sima Yue brought Musi to the plaza, there were already many people gathered there. Vice Valley Lord, everything is ready. Sima Yue nodded towards that person and sat down on the chair in the middle. Musi came to Sima Yue and knelt down. Someone immediately brought over a cup of tea. He held up the cup and handed it to Sima Yue with both hands, saying, Master, please have some tea. Sima Yue held up the cup and took a sip, saying, Musi, from now on, you and I will be master and disciple. As the saying goes, a master for a day is a father for life. I can't replace your father, but I will definitely guide you wholeheartedly and accompany you as you grow. As she spoke, she took out the 10,000-year-old black sandalwood and some dark attribute spirit stones, saying, This is Master's gift to you. The 10,000-year-old black sandalwood was given to her by Wei Ming Dai. Those spirit stones were found among the gifts. Wu Man, Meng Sha and the rest of the 4 district managers gave her a pile of treasures as gifts. Those dark attribute items could only be used by Musi, but she didn't plan to give them all to him at once. If he received too many treasures at once, it might not be a good thing. Thank you, Master. Musi took the items and said. She used both hands to help him up. Get up. I didn't expect that I would become a master by accident. Old Man Devil sighed at the side. Thinking back, when he first met Sima Yue, she was around the same age. Now, in the blink of an eye, she had also accepted his disciple. Gentleman's alliance. Chapter 14:13. The onlookers were envious of Musi, their gazes were filled with envy and jealousy. Sima Yue was the goddess in their hearts, they wanted to interact more with their goddess even in their dreams, they didn't expect her to accept him as her disciple. According to the usual rules, everyone had to greet the newcomers, but he was the disciple of their goddess, how could they do anything to him? Sigh, just thinking about it made them sad. Since you're Yue's disciple, then I'm your grandmaster, this is my gift for you. Old Man Devil took out a box and placed it in Mu Si's arms. "Thank you, Grandmaster." Mu Si took the box and said respectfully, "I'm your Grandmaster, this is my gift for you." Liang Wuming also took out a box. Sima Yu looked at them and beamed, saying, "Martial uncle, are these things that dark attribute spirit masters can use? Don't give Mu Si anything he can't use." "You brat, you want your disciple and not your master." Old Man Devil glared at her. "We're not newbies, we understand this." "Then master, if you have more, give it to my disciple, you can't use it anyway." Sima Yue smiled. "Mph, do you think these are cabbages? It's very rare for us to find anything with the dark attribute here. Since you're the Vice Valley Lord's disciple, we old fellows have to give you something." Xiao Jingzhong said, "I happen to have some items that dark soul masters can use, I'll give them to Mu Si. I have one or two little things too." The others who had dark attribute items all expressed their intentions. In a short while, Mu Si received so many gifts that his hands went weak. Mu Si had never seen so many things, and had never been so sincerely cared for by so many people. His heart felt warm. "Mu Si, let me tell you, there are benefits to being a junior." Sima Yue said, "Take me for example, I'm the youngest here. When I accept a disciple, the elders have to express their gratitude. This is good for us. In the future, you have to use this advantage of yours, understand?" "I understand." When everyone heard this, they were all speechless. Her first lesson wasn't to teach him alchemy, nor was it to teach him cultivation, but to teach him this. That night, Mu Si moved to Sima Yue's courtyard. Only when he arrived did he find out that other than Sima Lu Xian, Wu Lingyu was also in her courtyard. Wu Lingyu. That night, Sima Yue went to the Spirit Pagoda and flipped through some books regarding the cultivation of Dark Soul Masters. She passed them to Mu Si and asked him to read them himself while waiting for her to return. Fortunately, there were many types of books in the Spirit Pagoda, including these. Otherwise, it would be troublesome for her to teach them bit by bit. One day later, Sima Yue left with the rest of Paramount Valley. Xiao Jingzhong and the rest headed towards Cloud Cave's base while Feng Ji and Ing Baichuan brought their men to Cloud Cave's forces outside. As for her, she went to another city with Liang Wuming and Old Man Devil. This was where the dark forces had settled down. This was a small, remote town. It wasn't particularly far from the Cloud Cave, but it was rarely mentioned. That was because this place was too small. If Yue didn't find out that they were here, I wouldn't believe that they would stay in such a small place. Old Man Devil said, "That's right. But it's such a small city that caused a lot of trouble in the central regions. There's a tough battle to fight today. Everyone be careful." Liang Wuming said. "Yes, Valley Lord. We'll use the array to seal the space here. We can't let them escape." "Martial uncle, I'll go with you." Sima Yue stood out and said, "All right." The two of them flew into the air and observed for a while. Then, they got a group of array masters to stand at a designated position and at the same time, they threw the array stones in their hands into the ground. The array was activated. Soon, the space within a few hundred kilometers of the small town was sealed. At the same time, a group of men in black noticed the commotion in the mayor's residence in the small town and quickly flew into the air. As soon as they came out, they saw the people from Paramount Valley flying in from outside the small town. Liang Wuming recognized the person in the lead. He was the man in black who took out the array-breaking tool. When enemies met, their eyes turned red. They didn't say anything and attacked immediately. The black-clothed men also rushed forward, and the two sides immediately engaged in a fierce battle. This time, Liang Wuming brought people from Blood Fiend City. Their fighting power was many times higher than the Divine Devil Valley's outer disciples. Even if the other party was from the inner regions, they would still be beaten to a pulp. Most importantly, these people didn't play by the rules. During the fight, they would use poison from time to time. The other party couldn't take it anymore. Retreat. Although they were unwilling, it was more important to keep their lives. The men in black tried to open a space tunnel to leave. Then they realized that they had sealed the space. "You want to trap us with an array." The leader of the men in black realized that the space was sealed with an array. He was secretly delighted. He took out the array-breaking tool and inserted spirit energy into it. He threw it into the air and waited for it to break the array so that they could escape. But after the array-breaking tool flew one round in the air, it fell back down. The air was still the same. There wasn't any change. Do you think that we will use the same method after suffering once? Liang Wuming saw the surprise in the other party's eyes and snorted. This is obviously an array. How can it? The man in black shouted. This is waiting for you to die. Go to hell and ask others. Liang Wuming shouted. He drew out a fire dragon and attacked the man in black. Sima Yu's strength wasn't considered high here, so she didn't rush to the center of the battlefield. Instead, it was her group of beasts that were playing happily, especially Little Seven and the others. They didn't play to their heart's content at Jade Snow Mountain the last time. This time, seeing so many enemies, they started to compete to see who could kill more. But this time, it wasn't just a three-person competition. All the spirit beasts were participating. What Sima Yue didn't know was that the beasts weren't just competing. They had also agreed that their ranking would be decided by the rankings. The leader was Qi Yan. No one dared to refute this. Then, the first place of the competition would be the second place would be the third, and so on. That was why they were working so hard to kill the men in black. The people in the small city felt that the end of the world had come. The rumbling sounds of the battle didn't stop. Various colors of spirit techniques flashed in the sky above the city. If it wasn't for the protection array, the entire city would have been destroyed. The battle lasted for almost a day. When the first ray of sun broke through the clouds on the second day, the day had finally passed. Chapter 14:14. Soon, two pieces of news spread like wildfire across the continent. Moreover, both pieces of news were related to Paramount Valley. One was when Paramount Valley destroyed Cloud Cave and took over all their assets. They also dealt a heavy blow to the mysterious faction that had been around for the past few decades. However, after everyone heard about it, they only talked about how powerful Paramount Valley was, and that was the end of it. There was another piece of news that attracted the attention of the entire continent. The primordial divine artifact, Heaven Splitter Devil Sword, has appeared. If the first piece of news could catch people's attention, then the second piece of news would make people go crazy. An ancient divine artifact. There were only a few of them in the world, especially the Sky Splitter Devil Sword. It was said that with it, one could do whatever they wanted in the entire continent. With the Sky Splitter in hand, the world is mine. As a result, the second piece of news quickly overshadowed the first piece of news. Everyone was trying to find out what was going on. Later on, everyone found out that the Divine Dragon sect had already obtained the Sky Splitter. Moreover, many forces in the inner regions had already known about this news. Even the inner regions had already set off a huge wave because of this. It was just that the people outside did not know about it. And the reason this news spread out now was because the people of the Glacial Cloud Palace went to destroy the Mystical Dragon sect and snatched the Sky Splitter. They also wanted to kill Shi Shuang and the others to silence them so that outsiders wouldn't know that the Sky Splitter was in their hands. However, Shi Shuang and the others were lucky. They were saved by Sima Yue. As Sima Yue was their friend, she brought them to the valley and hid them there. The news of the Sky Splitter Devil Sword also spread. In addition to snatching the Sky Splitter, the Glacial Cloud Palace also snatched the glazed heart that they had just obtained. Whoever obtained these two items would be able to dominate the world. Therefore, the entire continent was in an uproar. Whether they had the ability or not, they all wanted to participate. However, some people were guessing if Paramount Valley had obtained the Sky Splitter Devil Sword and purposely released such news. Later on, someone went to investigate and found that it was indeed the people of Glacial Cloud Palace who exterminated the Mystical Dragon sect and obtained the Sky Splitter. Even the Battle of Yushue Mountain had been dug up. Thus, everyone believed that the Sky Splitter was in the Glacial Cloud Palace and that the Glacial Cloud Palace had obtained the heart of glazed glass. Previously, in order to suppress the news, Glacial Cloud Palace didn't speak out immediately, so they lost the initiative. It was said that there were people visiting Glacial Cloud Palace from time to time. This is the disciple you took in? Big Wei looked at Musi. He was just a child in his teens. He didn't know why she took in such a person as a disciple. How did you know about this? Sima Yue was a little surprised. Your matter has long been spread. Anyone who cares about you will know about it. Big Wei said, besides, isn't this what you want? Hee. Sima Yue was exposed by them, but she didn't feel embarrassed. She had already let people spread the news of her taking in a disciple. Letting others know that Mu Si was her disciple was also a layer of protection. I don't know why Uncle Big Wei and Uncle Little Wei are here today. Actually, it's nothing much. But because of Su Li's matter, the valley asked us to explain to you. Big Wei said. Sulu? Sima Yue blinked. Who is he? Sulu is the disciple of my sect that you killed at Jade Snow Mountain. Little Wei said. Oh, it's him. Sima Yue remembered that person. He did say that he was from the 100 Changing Doors. She glanced at the two of them secretly, guessing in her heart what they were here for. Explain? Explain what? According to past experience, shouldn't they be pointing at her nose and shouting that she killed my sect's disciple? Now you have to pay with your life? Reading background default settings: classic light blue, classic light gray, classic green, classic bright yellow, dark blue, ocean, autumn, green, classic, simple, elegant, red, powder, aristocratic, family, red, talk, thick, sea, vast, sky, broken heart, past, snow, white, world, gray, world, font color default settings: white, red, green, blue, brown, font size default settings: small, medium, large, speed 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 1 0. Mouse scroll description: 1 to 10, 1 is the slowest, 10 is the fastest. Chapter 14-15. The sect heard about the Jade Snow Mountain, and also knew that you killed Sulu. Big Wei said, the sect said that we owe you a debt of gratitude, so we have to explain this matter clearly to you. We didn't know that Sulu was involved in this. I've already guessed that. Sima Yue replied. I think, with the 100 Changing Doors' low-profile style, they shouldn't be involved in this matter. Big Wei and Little Wei heaved a sigh of relief when they heard that. It's good that you understand. This way, 100 Changing Doors and Paramount Valley won't be on bad terms. Actually, even if you know about Sulu, as long as you don't do anything to us, we won't look for you. I was worried that you would find trouble with me. Sima Yue laughed. That won't happen. The sect had never allowed disciples to participate in such matters. So even if something happens, the sect won't care. Little Wei explained, but you have to be careful of Su Li's brother. His elder brother? He has an elder brother called Su Chang, who is a very powerful seeker spirit master. Su Chang loves Su Lu very much. If he knows that you killed Su Lu, I'm afraid he will come to you for revenge. Which sect is his brother in? Sima Yue asked. Su Chang is the honorary elder of Glacial Cloud Palace. He was in seclusion some time ago. However, I think that the matter of Su Li's death should have caused him to come out. Big Wei said. Although he is an honorary elder, his position in the Glacial Cloud Palace is very high. Even the Vice Palace Master has to be courteous to him. Therefore, he was able to mobilize many disciples. In addition, he can also find outside help because he has made many friends before. Many people owe him favors, and there is no lack of experts among them. Sima Yue rubbed her chin and said, it seems that I have to be careful of this guy. Paramount Valley is so powerful now, he definitely wouldn't dare to look for you. What you need to pay attention to is bringing more people with you when you go out. Little Wei said. I understand. Thank you for telling me these things. Sima Yue smiled and said, since Uncle Big Wei and Uncle Little Wei are here, please stay here for 2 days. I'll show you around Heartbreak Valley. The scenery here can't be seen from the outside. Sure, we are also very curious about your place. Sima Yue brought the two of them out, leaving the group of people and beasts next door. Does that mean that someone wants to kill Yu? Little Seven slammed her palm on the table, her face filled with anger. If you want to kill Yu, why don't you ask us first? Mi Er's eyes revealed a ruthless gaze, but on that face that was extremely similar to Yue, there was actually no sense of disharmony. Why are you angry? If you want to kill Yu, let's kill them first. Crimson Flame said faintly. Boss is still the best. If those people dare to come, we'll let them know why the flowers are so red. Sima Lu Xian and the others looked at the beasts and said with a smile, what a group of arrogant and protective guys. Isn't that so? However, this temperament is quite similar to Yu's. Sima Lai smiled as well, but that smile was filled with pride. That's good. Sima Xiuqi said, just like what the beasts said, if they really dare to touch my good granddaughter. Father, you've been back for so long, can you not go back? Sima Lu Xian suddenly changed the topic, making everyone unable to keep up with the rhythm for a while. What's the hurry? Your injury hasn't healed yet, we'll stay here. Sima Xiuqi said. Won't the patriarch say anything? What did he say? In order to find you these years, your father has resigned from all the affairs in the clan. It's the same whether we go back or not. Huang Ying said indifferently. What? Sima Lu Xian looked at his father in shock. Father, I didn't want to care about those things. Sima Xiuqi said, this way, I'll be free. But Sima Lu Xian hesitated. He couldn't find the words to describe his mood for a while. Don't think too much about it. Huang Ying patted his shoulder. What you have to do now is to heal your injury, then our years of searching will not be in vain. Father, Mother, I'm unfilial. Sima Lu Xian lowered his head. His heart was full of guilt towards his two elders. Although he didn't regret his actions, he felt guilty for the harm he had brought to his parents and brothers. Those things, let bygones be bygones. Sima Xiuqi sighed. Don't worry, we will find a way to restore your spirit power. Father, Mother, don't worry about me, I'm ashamed. What's there to be ashamed of? You're our child, no matter what, this can't be changed. Huang Ying patted his shoulder. But this way, I won't have any power in the clan, those hamsters in the clan will be more arrogant. Sima Xiuqi said bitterly, you haven't recovered your strength now, it's more dangerous to return to the clan. Grandfather definitely doesn't care about those people. When we go back, we'll just destroy them all. Sima Yue came in from outside and said with a smile. Yue, why are you back? Didn't you go out with them? Sima Yue came to Huang Ying's side and sat down, saying, I handed them over to Director Mao. Director Mao has been here for so long, so he's familiar with it. And he has a good relationship with the two uncles, so he's easy to talk to. Yue, since you mentioned this, then let me ask, do you plan to go back to the clan? Sima Lu Yun asked. I've said it when great-grandfather was here, I'll see what father wants. If father wants to go back, then he'll go back. If father doesn't go back, then I won't go back. I'll definitely go back with father. Sima Yue looked at Sima Lu Xian. Sima Lu Xian lowered his head, his silver hair drooped down, he pinched the hand on his leg and said, Can I still go back now? He had brought so much trouble to the clan in the past, and the clan had spent so much effort to find him over the years. Moreover, he was now a cripple. Go back. You definitely have to go back. Yue, you have the blood of the Sima family flowing in your body, so naturally, you have to go back to the Sima family. As for those hamsters, you're right, we'll just destroy them when we go back. Sima Xiuqi said, and the clan has a lot of ancient books on medicine, maybe we can find a way to cure your father. Sima Yue's eyes lit up and asked, Really? There are a lot of ancient books. Huang Ying said, but I haven't read them before, so I don't know the specifics. If it's true, then after we're done here, we'll go back to the Sima family to take a look at those monsters. Chapter 1416. Sima Yue was referring to the annihilation of Yayang Palace and Zhongzheng clan. Although these two families had a falling out before, they reconciled with the help of the mysterious force. If they wanted to deal with him now, they would have to work together. In addition, it was said that the Sage Pavilion was behind the Yayang Palace. It was unknown if the Sage Pavilion would come to intervene when the time came. During this period of time, the outside world was in an uproar because of the appearance of the heaven splitter. However, Paramount Valley was very quiet. Other than crushing Yasen Palace financially, they did not do anything else. As for Shi Qiushuang and the rest, because of Paramount Valley's protection, they were able to avoid being sucked into the center of the whirlpool and had nothing to do. During the time they stayed in Heartbreak Valley, Sima Yue would let people tell them about the news outside so that they would not be isolated from the world. 2 months later, a piece of news stunned Sima Yue for a while before she went to Shi Qiushuang's courtyard. Shi Qianji and Yuanju were talking about something in the courtyard. When they saw her enter, they waved at her. "Where's Qiushuang?" Sima Yue asked. "In the house." "What's the matter? Are you looking for her?" "Yes, I have something to do," Sima Yue replied. Creak, Shi Qiushuang's door opened. She heard Yue's words and came out of her room. "What brings you here today? What's the matter?" Shi Qiushuang walked over and asked. "I'm here to deliver a message," Sima Yue said. "Deliver a message? Didn't the disciples of the valley send them over in the past? Could it be?" Shi Qiushuang seemed to have guessed something as she looked at Sima Yue with a complicated gaze. Sima Yue took out a piece of paper and handed it to her, saying, "I just received news that Glacial Cloud Palace has been destroyed." "What?" Everyone in the courtyard cried out. They couldn't believe what they had just heard. Shi Qiushuang's feelings were even more complicated. She opened the paper that Sima Yue had given her. On it was written that Huayang Palace had been destroyed by a few forces yesterday. "It's really destroyed?" Shi Qiushuang's body shook, and the paper in her hand flew to the ground. The Glacial Cloud Palace was destroyed in less than 2 months after the news was released. This was enough to show how crazy the world was about the Heaven Splitter. With the destruction of the Glacial Cloud Palace, the hatred of the destruction of the mythical dragon religion was also dispersed. Because the hatred in her heart no longer had a foothold. She hadn't even gotten her revenge, but her enemy was gone. Sima Yue reached out to support Shi Qiushuang but did not say anything to comfort her. She had expected Shi Qiushuang to react this way when she heard the news, so she came to tell her personally. Shi Qianji and Yuanju's hearts were also in turmoil. Originally, they had a monstrous hatred, but now it was gone just like that. Once the sky splitter appears, there will definitely be a reign of terror. "But I didn't expect it to be so soon," Sima Yue said. "There are so many greedy people in the world. How many people can resist this temptation?" Shi Qiushuang wiped the tears from the corner of her eyes and smiled at Sima Yue, saying, "Thank you for specially coming to tell us this. No matter what happened in the past, the future will always continue." Sima Yue advised. This kind of thing had to be understood by oneself. No matter how much others said, it was just empty words. "I understand," Shi Qiushuang said. "Actually, I more or less guessed the fate of the Glacial Cloud Palace. With the sky splitter in hand, they definitely won't be able to escape. But I didn't expect this day to come so soon. Before, I was full of ambition to take revenge for my father and my sect brothers. Suddenly, I don't even have a target. I can't take back my heart." Her words were filled with bitterness, just like her heart at this moment. Now that the enemy is gone, the world's attention has shifted to the sky splitter. You can say that you are safe now. You can think about your future plans. Sima Yue said. "What other plans can we have?" Shi Qiushuang smiled bitterly. "Yue, why don't you let us join you? Since you are able to merge 2 forces, can you accept us?" Sima Yue blinked. She remembered that Bai Sheng and the others had mentioned about letting Yuanju and the others join. "Qiushuang, if you want to join, Paramount Valley will definitely be willing to accept you. But this is not a small matter. Don't make a rash decision. Wait until you calm down, then we will talk about this. How about it?" "All right. You said that if we want to join, you will agree." Shi Qiushuang said. "Of course, you are all so powerful. If you can join, our strength will increase again." Sima Yue smiled. "You are such a big force. What are we compared to you? I know that you are willing to accept us because of our past friendship." "Yue, thank you," Shi Qiushuang said gratefully. "Don't underestimate your strength." Sima Yue said, the secret technique that you gave has already been distributed to everyone to practice. I see that those who have high comprehension have already achieved some success. When they use it, they can already hide their aura very well. Their strength has increased a lot. After some time, they will definitely be able to improve as a whole. It's good that it's useful. Alright, I still have some things to do. I will go back first. This matter. You guys should take it easy. Sima Yue patted Shi Qiushuang's hand. Then I will go back. Sima Yue turned and left. She saw Jiang Junxian on the second floor. He leaned on the railing, his gaze deep. She still remembered the first time she saw him. At that time, she had just arrived at Parting Garden. In the middle of the night, he was very angry because of Su Xiaoxiao. He looked at them in a daze, but the things he threw at Su Xiaoxiao were very accurate. At that time, when she saw his flirtatious face and half-awake gaze, she thought that this person was very evil. After that, when he was with the others, he always looked like he was not awake. He was always in a daze. Not long ago, when they met again, he rarely had that dazed gaze. Not to mention such a deep gaze. She stopped and looked at Jiang Junxian, saying, Senior, do you have time? I have something to talk to you about. Shi Qiushuang and the others looked over. Jiang Junxian looked at Sima Yue. After a moment of silence, he turned and went downstairs. We don't blame him for this matter, but you should persuade him. Shi Qianji said. Sima Yue nodded. When she saw Jiang Junxian coming down, she said, let's go outside for a walk. Okay. The two of them left the courtyard. Han Miao Shuang appeared on the second floor. She looked at their backs and did not speak for a long time. Sima Yue gave him a pill. Jiang Junxian looked at her and did not ask what it was. He took it and ate it. Aren't you afraid that I will poison it? Sima Yue asked. Will you? Jiang Junxian asked back. His tone was firm. Sima Yue smiled, saying, I will take you to a place. Chapter 14:17. Sima Yue led Jiang Junxian forward. Soon, they left the central region and entered the heart of Heartbreak Valley. This is the inner region? Jiang Junxian asked. Yes. Why did you bring me here? Jiang Junxian asked. I'll bring you around to relax. Sima Yue said. Jiang Junxian was speechless. Who would go to the inner area of Heartbreak Valley just to relax? She was probably the only one who could do something like that. You just said that you have something to deal with. Jiang Junxian reminded her. Some things are important, and some are not. Let's go. I'll show you the scenery of the inner region today. Most people don't have this opportunity. Sima Yue said. If other people came, they could only wander around the outer and middle regions. Paramount Valley would not provide them with the antidote for the inner regions. Jiang Junxian was silent and followed her inside. She had made it very clear that he was more important to her than anything else. I don't think we've ever walked like this before, Sima Yue said as they walked. I think so. Speaking of which, I do miss the old days. Sima Yue narrowed her eyes. At that time in the Parting Garden, with Master and all of you, the days were so peaceful. You love to sleep all day, but senior sister eats all day. She always pesters me to make delicious food for her. But third senior brother always complains that you make a mess in the courtyard. Jiang Junxian gazed at the snowy mountains in the distance. His eyes were filled with deep nostalgia as he murmured, I do miss it. Before his identity was exposed, those days could be said to be the warmest, calmest, and most memorable of his many years. However, at that time, although senior brother was often sleepy, he would still smile at me and everyone else. But I haven't seen him smile for a long time. Sima Yue said. Is there? Jiang Junxian was stunned and said, I didn't notice. Senior brother, you are blaming yourself for this. Sima Yue brought him to the foot of the snow mountain and continued to climb. Jiang Junxian was silent. Was he blaming himself? Perhaps it was just a little. I realized that you don't even dare to look at Qiushuang and the others. I think if Qiushuang were to stab you with a sword, you wouldn't dodge. Jiang Junxian remained silent. Sima Yue looked at him and sighed. Speaking of which, the real culprit is me. This has nothing to do with you. Jiang Junxian said. If it wasn't for me, you would have sent the news of Little Seven back then, right? Then he would think of a way to capture Little Seven. In fact, the news of the Eye of the Earth will spread throughout the entire continent like the Heaven Splitter. Sima Yue said, but you didn't. When you had to choose between Little Seven and Sky Splitter, you chose Sky Splitter, allowing Little Seven and I to live peacefully for so many years. You think too much. Jiang Junxian did not look at her and directly denied. Really? Sima Yue smiled faintly. Whether you admit it or not, I have something to do with this. Why do you have to take the blame for this? Jiang Junxian asked in confusion. Because we are all responsible for this. It's not fair for you to take the blame alone. Sima Yue said. I don't want to see you so depressed. This is not my big senior brother. The two walked up the mountain, leaving their deep and shallow footprints on the snow. Some things have been done, so we have to accept the result. Jiang Junxian said in a low voice. Whether Qiu Shuang blames me or not, it's because I brought back Sky Splitter that led to this result. This can't be changed, I can only accept it. No, although this was caused by you, it's not because of you. Sima Yue said. The real reason is human greed. Greed, yes. Sima Yue reached out and caught the snowflakes falling from the sky. If it wasn't because of greed, we should have thrown the Sky Splitter away when we got it, instead of holding on to it no matter how dangerous it was. If it wasn't because of greed, there wouldn't be so many people rushing for it, and blood flowing like a river. Although you are the cause, you are not the main cause. Actually, I understand what you're saying. It's just that he couldn't get over this hurdle. Do you know? The top of this mountain is the highest place in Heartbreak Valley. Standing on the mountain, you can see the endless scenery. Sometimes, we shouldn't be stuck at the foot of the mountain and trap ourselves. Instead, we should stand on the top of the mountain, look into the distance, and think about the road ahead. Sima Yue said, grabbed his hand and flew him to the top of the mountain. The two stood on the top of the mountain and looked at the scenery below. The magnificent rivers and mountains made one's heart surge. Woman, you brought an outsider to my territory. A cold voice sounded all around. Then the snow swirled and fell. Jiao Yin's cold figure appeared in front of the two. Sima Yue ignored the anger on his face and greeted with a smile. Jiao Yin, long time no see. Woman, in our agreement, there wasn't a clause that allowed you to bring others to my territory. Jiao Yin said coldly. This is my senior brother. He's like a family member. He can't be considered as an outsider. Sima Yue shrugged. Twisting words and forcing logic. Jiao Yin snorted. The snow on the top of the mountain fell even faster. How are your people now? Sima Yue asked. The pressure on Jiao Yin's body relaxed. The temperature didn't continue to drop, and the snow lessened a lot. With the pills you provided, their success rate of evolution increased a lot. Most of them have evolved over the years. That's good. Sima Yue nodded with satisfaction. Even so, you shouldn't have brought people in. Jiao Yin's face was sour. He was unhappy that others knew that the 9 turns snow silkworm was here. Aya, looks like you're very angry. How about this, you guys fight? Sima Yue finished speaking and grabbed Jiang Junxian's shoulder. She threw him towards Jiao Yin. Little junior sister. Jiang Junxian's voice fluctuated for the first time. But before he could finish his words, his attention was diverted. Because Jiao Yin really attacked. Sima Yue saw the two fighting together. She wasn't worried at all. Instead, she found a place far away and admired the two fighting. Jiang Junxian was a fire attribute spirit beast. Jiao Yin was an ice attribute spirit beast. When the two fought together, it was like a song of ice and fire. The battle between the two could be said to be a hearty one. When the battle was over, the relationship between the two was immediately pulled closer. Sima Yue took out 3 jugs of wine. She threw 1 jug to each of them and drank a mouthful. Big senior brother, do you feel better? Thank you, little junior sister. If you really want to thank me, then give me Master's life jade. Sima Yue said. She stretched out her hand in front of him with a serious face. Jiang Junxian narrowed his eyes. What are you doing? Chapter 14:18. He was seen through. Sima Yue did not retract her hand. She held the wine jar with her other hand and looked straight at him. Jiang Junxian took out Su Jin's life tablet and placed it in her hand, saying, "You are indeed more qualified than me to keep this." "It's not about qualifications." Sima Yue kept the life tablet and said, "It's just that we have our own things to do." "You want to find Master?" "Yes. Master and Teacher Gu both left because of me. After so many years, there was no news at all. I'm going to find them." Sima Yue said, "And you, as our eldest senior brother, now that the world is in chaos, will have to rely on you to take care of senior sister and little senior brother. If he joined Paramount Valley, at least he would have a place to shelter himself from the wind and rain. If they didn't want to join, it would be very dangerous in this chaotic world with only 3 people. We'll go with you." "I'm not going now." Sima Yue took a sip of wine. "Maybe I'll go in a few years. You can't have been following me all these years, right? Why not? Or we can go first and come find us when you have time." Jiang Junxian said. Sima Yue immediately denied. "Without any clues about Master, it will be very dangerous if you go alone. Although my strength isn't strong, but luckily I have a lot of means to save my life. With Little Rock and Chiyenne around, I can get a lot of external help, and there are also people from Blood Fiend City who are with me." Jiang Junxian was silent. He had also heard of the place Su Jin went to. It was indeed not a place they could go with their strength. If Yu went with her external strength, she would be able to give it a try. After a moment's silence, he looked up at her and said, "We'll go with you. I think both of them are willing." "Don't say no. That's our master." Jiang Junxian interrupted her refusal. "All right then," Sima Yue said, "I have to do my own thing first. I'll contact you when I'm there. I promise that I won't go alone. I'll go with you." "You're leaving?" Jiao Yin, who had been silent since they started drinking, suddenly asked. "I might leave this place after I destroy Yenyang Palace and Zongjing clan," Sima Yue replied. "You're not coming back? How could this be?" Sima Yue felt that Jiao Yin was a little nervous. She smiled and said, "This is a place that I built with them. How can I not care about it? My family will also stay here. No matter where I go, this place will be like my home. I just need to go to the inner region to take care of some matters, so I have to leave." "When are you coming back?" "I don't know." Sima Yue shook her head. After her rebirth, her goal was revenge. Ever since she regained her memories, she had been thinking about destroying the Zongjing family every day. At that time, the Zongjing clan was still an insurmountable force to her. But after a few decades, she already had the power to deal with them. Initially, she thought that she would be able to relax after destroying the Zongjing family. But now, it seemed that even if she could achieve this goal, she still had a lot of things to do. "You want to go back to the Sima family?" Jiang Junxian asked. "Yes." "You forgave them?" "I can't say that I forgave them because I never understood them. Now that I know the whole story, plus my grandpa and the rest will have to go back. I have to go back and take a look." Sima Yue said, "Moreover, there are still many things left unsettled from that year." Jiang Junxian went silent again. But this time, it was because of her. "Don't worry. Since I promised to go with you, I will definitely inform you. Before I go, stay in the valley and wait for my news." Sima Yue said. "When you go back, be careful." Jiang Junxian was a little worried. But that was her family's matter. It wasn't their place to interfere. "Don't worry. Even if they turn the world upside down, I won't be at a disadvantage." Sima Yue said, "Anyway, I don't have any feelings for that place. Even if they are at a disadvantage, I won't be at a disadvantage." Jiang Junxian understood her character. He knew that her words weren't said casually. He nodded and didn't say anything else. The 3 of them sat on the snowy mountain. Each of them hugged a wine jar. No one spoke. After drinking that jar of strong wine, the three of them were a little dizzy. Jiao Yin and Jiang Junxian recovered some of their strength and ran to the side to fight again. Sima Yue watched as she prepared a scalding hot pot. When the two of them were almost done fighting, she called them over to eat. Luckily, her flame could still burn on this snowy mountain. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to eat this hot pot. The two of them were already exhausted from the fight. But they still ran over and started to eat. Jiao Yin even complained about his noble body and disdained to eat these things. His chopsticks didn't stop eating. After drinking and eating to their fill, Sima Yue and Jiang Junxian went down the snowy mountain and walked towards the sect. After sending Jiang Junxian back, the two of them were speechless. When they parted ways in front of the courtyard, Sima Yue sighed and said, "Don't let senior sister worry anymore." Jiang Junxian followed Sima Yue's gaze and saw the girl standing under the tree in the courtyard waiting for him. Her figure was cold and her eyes were watery. For so many days she had been by his side, worrying about him and comforting him. But he had been oppressed by the heavy self-blame recently. He didn't even notice that her body had become thinner. He nodded at Sima Yue. Then he came under the tree and held Han Miao Shuang's hand, saying, "Let's go in." Han Miao Shuang held his hand and the two of them walked into the courtyard. Before entering the house, she turned around and smiled gratefully at Yu. Sima Yue nodded at her. Then she turned around and left. Her steps were much lighter. 2 days later, Shi Shuang brought Yuan Ju and Shi Qianji to find Sima Yue. They solemnly told her that they were willing to join Paramount Valley. Sima Yue brought them to find Liang Wuming and Shimin Feng. When the two Valley Lord heard that they were willing to join, they were very happy. After they took the oath, they immediately arranged positions for them. Of course, it was mainly for Yuan Ju. In view of his strength and reputation, they immediately made him the Hall Master of the Poison Master Hall. Because he didn't want to care about things, the Hall Master became a figurehead. It was fine as long as he could do something for the hall from time to time. A few months later, Shimin Feng and the rest called Sima Yue over. They told her that Zhongzheng clan and Huayang Palace's finances had been completely destroyed by Paramount Valley. Now it was time for the final battle. As long as she was willing, she could send troops to destroy them anytime. When Sima Yue heard the news, she reached out and covered her chest. At this moment, it was surging. Chapter 1419. Shimin Feng was also very excited. After everyone discussed and made this decision, he couldn't calm down. "Have you guys made a plan?" Sima Yue asked. "Yes." Shimin Feng nodded. "In order to ensure that the other one does not escape, we have decided to split into 2 groups to deal with Zhongzheng clan and Yenyang Palace together. Of course, we can settle them once and for all, but a starving camel is still bigger than a horse. We can't underestimate their strength." Sima Yue said. "Don't worry about that. We've already checked it out. That mysterious force had probably gone to chase after Sky Splitter. Recently, they had not been together with Zhongzheng clan and Huayang Palace. Otherwise, with the power of that mysterious force, we wouldn't have been able to destroy their economy so easily." Shimin Feng explained. "Then, have you evaluated the strength of the other party and us? You don't know our current strength, right?" Shimin Feng saw that she did not care before, but now that she was asking nervously, he smiled and said, "Paramount Valley, other than the guild, probably has the most professional masters. However, we have more spiritual masters than the guild. Compared to the other factions, even if we don't have an advantage in terms of the number of spirit masters, our profession masters will definitely crush them." "I understand that, but if we want to divide our forces, don't worry. This time around we will definitely crush them. We will let them have a taste of the feeling of being unable to resist." All right. That year, the Zhongzheng clan was the main force, and there were also many people from the Huayang Palace. They poisoned the Shimin clan and reaped the lives of their clansmen like a harvester. Now, she wanted them to feel the same way, experience the same despair, and taste the same pain. The disciples in the valley had long known that they would have a battle with the Zhongzheng family and the Huayang Palace. Moreover, the battle could come at any time. Therefore, everyone had been in a state of preparation for the past few months. Therefore, when they received the news that they would depart in 10 days, not a single one of them was surprised. Instead, they were all rather excited. Some of them were even rubbing their hands together, unable to wait any longer. When they had followed her, she had clearly told them that the reason why she had chosen them was because one day, she would make them risk their lives to avenge them. If it was at the beginning, they might have done this to repay Sima Yue for letting them live under the sun again and giving them a stable life. However, after interacting with her for so many years, they were deeply impressed by her and admired and respected her from the bottom of their hearts. Knowing that it was to avenge her and Shimin Feng, they couldn't wait to destroy those two forces immediately. Therefore, during the 10 days of preparation, all the disciples in the valley were very enthusiastic, which made Sima Yue speechless. Big sister, these people are too excited. Shimin Li and Sima Yue were both shocked by the excitement of these people. Shimin Li had been in seclusion all this while and only came out after receiving the news. At this moment, she seemed to have changed a lot. Little doe transformed? Sima Yue asked. Not yet, but it's already giving me feedback. Shimin Li was still very excited when she said this. You're already a high-level divine ancestor. Not bad. Sima Yue said, according to what he said before, when it successfully transforms, you'll be able to get even more power. Since my power has increased, I want to participate in this matter. Shimin Li said. Sima Yue rejected her without thinking. When the time comes, it'll definitely be a chaotic battle. Although your power has increased, but in that kind of environment, you won't even be able to protect yourself. Moreover, you only have Little Doe now and don't have any other spirit beasts. That guy doesn't even have any battle power. But I want to go. Shimin Li said, all these years, I've been working so hard to cultivate so that I can personally avenge my family one day. Sima Yue saw the pain in her eyes and the determination on her face. She knew that if she didn't let her go, she would regret it for the rest of her life. All right then. However, I want to find 2 bodyguards for you. Sima Yue said. Bodyguards? Let's go. Sima Yue took out an antidote and gave it to her, then brought her to the inner region. Big sister, what are we doing here? Shimin Li rarely came to the inner region. When she saw those poisonous creatures spitting out bubbles, she felt a little creeped out. I said, I'm looking for bodyguards for you. Sima Yue walked in front. She had a clear goal. The 2 of them came to the place where the black foxes lived. Before they could get close, they were stopped. Ahead is my clan's territory. You can't go any further. A black fox came out and stopped them. The 2 of them stopped and said, it's fine if you don't go in. Let your clan leader come out. Why are you looking for our clan leader? Of course there's something important to discuss. Sima Yue said, don't tell me you don't know who I am. If you do, go and report to your king. That black fox glanced at her. After hesitating for a while, it turned and left. For a famous person like her, there was no spirit beast in Heartbreak Valley that didn't know her. After a while, a black fox with shiny black fur walked out. When it saw Sima Yue, it said, I'm the king of the Black Fox clan, Black Charm. We don't have much interaction with Paramount Valley. I wonder why you're here? I need a powerful spirit beast. After thinking about it, in Heartbreak Valley, your battle power is not bad. So I want to ask you for a spirit beast. Sima Yue went straight to the point. You want a contract beast? Black Charm looked at her with an unfriendly gaze. Not for me. I want to give it to my sister. Sima Yue pointed at Shimin Li behind her. No. Black Charm rejected without thinking. If it was to be Sima Yue's contract beast, it could still consider it. After all, the spirit beasts in Heartbreak Valley knew a lot about her. Such a powerful person, it might have a bright future if it followed her. But it was different if it was to let them acknowledge Shimin Li. Spirit beasts only recognized people, not relationships. Don't look down on her. Don't think that she's weak. If you compete with her, you'll definitely lose. If you don't believe me, you can find someone to try. Sima Yue said arrogantly. Black Charm saw that she was so confident. It looked at Shimin Li, who was not strong, and said, "Why should I find someone to compete with her? What's the benefit of competing?" She was indeed a sly fox. She still wanted to bargain at this time. If my sister wins, the person who competes will have to acknowledge her as his master. If she loses, she'll refine a batch of pills that you need. Sima Yue said with a smile, "How about it? Do you dare to bet?" Chapter 1420. Black Phantom looked at Sima Yue and tried to read something from her eyes. But other than confidence, it couldn't see anything else. Sima Yue smiled and looked back at it. "What do you think? Do you dare or not?" "Why wouldn't I dare?" Black Charm snorted coldly. "You don't have to find anyone else. I'll do it. Tell me, how do you want to compete?" Sima Yue sized it up. "You're not bad. I'll choose you then." The black succubus was furious. He was already at the peak of Sacred Beast level 9 and was just one step away from becoming a supreme sacred beast. How could she say that he was still passable? Shimin Li pulled her hand and said, "Elder sister, how can I beat him?" "I didn't say we'll have a duel." Sima Yue said, "Let's have a competition. We won't use spiritual energy to attack each other. Let's see who can make the other take a step back first. The one who takes a step back loses. How about that?" "Just this?" "That's right. What do you think? Do you agree?" "Good. Since this is the method you chose, don't regret it." Black Charm was secretly pleased. If he didn't use his strength to attack the other party directly, wouldn't that be using his aura? Shimin Li didn't look like the kind of person who was strong. It would be a piece of cake to win against her. "Wait, there's another condition." Sima Yue said. "What?" "Both of you swear an oath. If you agree to the bet, you must accept the loss. Otherwise, what if both parties go back on their word?" Sima Yue said. Black Charm knew that humans had always been cunning. Naturally, it would not give them pills for free. But if there was an oath, it would be different. Even if he wanted to renege on his debt, he couldn't. "All right, let's make an oath." It agreed without hesitation, ignoring the evil smile on Sima Yue's face. Soon, Sima Yue and Black Phantom both made their vows, and the light of oath entered their bodies. No matter what the result was, the two of them could not break their vows. "In a while," Sima Yue whispered into Shimin Li's ear. As she had set up a small enchantment, Black Charm did not hear a single word. He only saw Shimin Li's eyes getting brighter and brighter. Why did he have a bad feeling when he saw this? After Sima Yue finished speaking, she patted Shimin Li's shoulder. "Do you understand?" "Understood." Shimin Li's eyes were full of smiles. Sima Yue drew a circle beside Shimin Li and Hei Mei's feet and said, "Whoever moves their feet out of the circle first will lose. Let's begin." She retreated to one side and both of them released their own pressure. However, Shimin Li released Little Doe's pressure. Black Phantom saw that although Shimin Li was having a hard time, she was standing steadily in the coil without any signs of retreating. Suddenly, Shimin Li moved and a black metal ball appeared in her hand. She injected her spiritual power and threw it at Black Phantom. Although Black Phantom did not know what it was, it could feel the explosive power inside. When it saw the thing flying over, it subconsciously dodged to the side. Poochie! The small metal ball rolled twice around where the Black Phantom was, but it did not explode. It only made a small noise. "You've lost." Sima Yue smiled and looked at it. Black Phantom looked at its position and saw that it was already far away from the coil. It had lost this competition. "You cheated." Even though it was covered in black fur, Sima Yue could feel how dark its face was. "Did I?" Sima Yue walked over. "We agreed that we would not use spiritual power to attack directly, but we did not say anything else. Look, we did not use spiritual power on you. You left on your own accord. But that thing..." Black Phantom looked at the small metal ball. Although it did feel the majestic power, it now looked like a small metal ball without any energy waves. Sima Yue walked over and picked up the small metal ball. She said, This is just a thunderbolt bomb. The string on it is not pulled out so it will not explode. Moreover, this is not a direct attack with spiritual power. So, you have to admit defeat. Black Phantom's eyes were filled with murderous intent. If it killed these two people, the other black foxes immediately went forward and surrounded Sima Yue and Shimonli. As long as Black Phantom gave the order, they would tear the two of them apart immediately. Sima Yue and Shimonli stood on the spot without blinking. Why did you forget the oath? Sima Yue smiled faintly and reminded Black Phantom. Black Phantom looked at her straight in the eyes. Seeing her smile, it felt extremely dazzling. However, it did not have the courage to go against the power of the oath. After hesitating for a while, the murderous intent on its body dissipated and it became listless. I will not acknowledge you as my master. Although it had decided not to kill them, it would not acknowledge them as its master either. As long as it did not acknowledge them as its master, they would have to tame it before they could form a contract with it. With its level, it was not something that could be tamed by ordinary people. If it had done something else when it was forming the contract, but when Sima Yue heard this, she smiled and said, "That's easy. If you are not willing to acknowledge us as your master, then we will tame it. If you do not agree to this, then the power of the oath will take effect." Humph, I can't follow you to find a beast tamer for the rest of my life. If you can't find a beast tamer within half a year, then our agreement will be void. Black Phantom said. From its point of view, it was impossible to find a high-level beast tamer within half a year. This way it would be free. No need to go through so much trouble. After Sima Yue finished speaking, she teleported and disappeared from the spot. When she appeared again, she was beside Black Phantom and placed her hand on its forehead. "Let's start now." "You are a beast tamer?" Black Phantom asked in surprise. "You guessed right. Unfortunately, there is no reward." Sima Yue activated the beast taming art and started taming it. The surrounding black foxes were unhappy and wanted to save their king from her evil claws. "If you attack me now, you will hurt him too. Think about it yourselves." After Sima Yue finished speaking, she ignored the black foxes and called out Little Seven, Little Dream, and the rest. She focused on taming it. However, the taming process was not successful because Black Phantom was too powerful and had strong mental strength. Moreover, it was not willing to cooperate at all, so the taming process was very difficult. Sima Yue was not in a hurry. This Black Phantom had stayed in Heartbreak Valley for too long and was like a frog at the bottom of a well. When she inserted the power of the beast taming art again, she also transferred Thousand Resonance's aura into its body. Its mental strength that was full of itself was suppressed instantly. "Why do you have such a nine-tailed fox's aura?" Its mental strength shouted. Although it had not grown its ninth tail, Thousand Resonance's aura was still oppressive to the Fox clan. After that, the taming process went quite smoothly. 2 days later, the arrogant Black Phantom was finally tamed successfully. It laid on the ground listlessly. Reading background default settings: classic light blue, classic light gray, classic green, classic bright yellow, dark blue, ocean, autumn, abundant green, elegant red, powder, aristocratic, family, red, talk, thick, sea, wide, sky, broken heart, past, snow, white, world, gray, world, font color default settings: white, red, green, blue, brown, font size default settings: small, medium, large, speed 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 1 0. Mouse scroll description: 1 to 10, 1 is the slowest, 10 is the fastest. Chapter 1421. There will never be any pop-up windows in the online book bar. The black foxes looked at each other when they saw their king become like this. Are we really going to let King form a contract with a human? What else can we do? King has made a vow. If we break the vow, we will go to hell. What's the point of saying this now? King has already been tamed. But King has been contracted by a human. What can we do? Are we going to choose another king? Or are we going to follow them? Let's wait until King wakes up. After Sima Yue finished taming, she glanced at the crowd and they immediately stopped whispering. "Let her come and form the contract." Sima Li walked over and placed her palm on Black Charm's forehead before starting the contract. After a while, the formation of the contract appeared and wrapped the human and beast in it. Then, it split into two and flew into their bodies. The contract was completed. Before the crowd could speak, the light of leveling up enveloped them. Sima Li's power was absorbed by Little Doe and she only leveled up by a small level. However, Black Charm leveled up a lot and directly helped him to level up from a Supreme Divine Beast to a Supreme Divine Beast. When the light of leveling up dissipated, he did not react and stood rooted to the ground in a daze. I actually became a Supreme Divine Beast. My contract method can allow people to level up when they form a contract. You've been stuck there for a long time, right? If it wasn't for this contract, who knows how long it would take for you to level up? Sima Yue looked at him as if he had taken advantage of her. I really leveled up? Black Charm looked at Sima Yue and seemed to be in a daze. Try it yourself. Sima Yue said. Black Charm condensed his spiritual energy and attacked the mountain in the distance. With a boom, the mountain was flattened. He really leveled up. King has become a Supreme Divine Beast. That's great. But King seems to have attacked the wrong place. Your Majesty, you've attacked our territory. Sima Yue's mouth twitched. This fox dog was so muddle-headed. Actually, it was not that Black Phantom was muddle-headed, but that it had been stuck at this point for many years, unable to advance. He thought that it would take him many years to advance, but he didn't expect that he would be able to break through the shackles of many years just by forming a contract. The surprise came too suddenly, and he couldn't react in time. Besides, this was such a big surprise. Anyone would have such a reaction. Your Majesty, our mountain is gone, someone reminded. If it's gone, then it's gone. Black Phantom confirmed that its strength had indeed increased and was overjoyed. It no longer cared about the mountain. But where do we live? Where else can we live? Of course, he was going to stay at Paramount Valley. I've already become a member of Paramount Valley. Naturally, you're also a member of Paramount Valley. Black Phantom slapped the Black Fox's head and shouted. But the elders, they will also agree with me. Our Black Fox clan has lived in this Heartbreak Valley for so long that many people have forgotten about us. Now it's time for us to rise. Sima Yue wasn't interested in their clan's matters. She said to Black Phantom, I think you should know how to find your master. Here, let's go. Black Phantom, hurry up and settle your matters. We'll be going out in a few days, Shimin Li said to Black Phantom. All right. Sima Yue was very satisfied with Shimin Li's performance this time. No matter if it was during the competition or when facing the Black Fox clan, she didn't show any fear, even if the difference in strength was huge. Big sister, where are we going now? Shimin Li asked. Out of the valley. Out of the valley? But we're going to fight soon. Why are we going out now? Shimin Li asked curiously. To prepare a flying beast for you, Sima Yue said. From what I see, your mental strength can still form a contract with another spirit beast. Feng Er's flying beast is a phoenix. We don't have time to catch a phoenix now, but the one I found for you won't be any worse than a phoenix. She brought Shimin Li out of the valley and went to where the four-winged rocks were. When the valley was first built, the White Egret clan, the four-winged rocks and the other two-bird clans all settled down in the forest not far from Heartbreak Valley. It was considered the first gate of Heartbreak Valley. Choosing the four-winged rocks went very smoothly. Because of her position in the four-winged rocks, once she said that she wanted to find a flying beast for her little sister and that she could form a contract with it, a few of the stronger ones stood out. Sima Yue chose the strongest one and used the Imperial Beast art to tame it. Then she let it form a contract with Shimin Li. After the contract, there was the light of advancement. When the light of advancement faded, many of the four-winged rocks regretted that they didn't stand out just now. If not, they could have advanced too. All right, now that you have a Supreme Divine Beast and a high-level Sacred Beast by your side, even if it's on the battlefield, there shouldn't be any problems. Thank you, big sister. Shimin Li held onto Sima Yue's arm and leaned her head on her shoulder, just like when they were young. Previously, I said that I would find two powerful spirit beasts for you, but I was too busy and neglected you. It's fine now. When I leave, I can rest assured about you. Big sister, you're leaving? Shimin-Li was shocked and raised her head to look at her. When this matter is over, I will return to the inner region with my father and the rest. There are also some other things that I need to settle. With Feng around, I'm not worried about your safety. But now that it's so chaotic outside, if you want to go out, don't go out alone. Sima Yue reminded her. But I can't bear to leave you. Shimin-Li grabbed her arm. It's not like I won't come back after leaving. Sima Yue smiled and said. Then when will you come back? Sima Yue shook her head. I'll see how it goes later. If things go smoothly, it'll be easy. If not, I don't know how long it'll take. Does second brother know? I didn't say, but I think they all know. Sima Yue said, if I'm not back for Feng and Xiang Yi's wedding, remember to inform me. I'll definitely come back to attend. Shimin-Li's joy of contracting 2 powerful spirit beasts in a row was shattered by the news that she was leaving. She looked rather disappointed. Big sister, I'm not strong enough now. When I'm stronger, I'll definitely look for you. Okay, I'll wait for you. You have to work hard. Actually, although she said she was coming back, she was still a member of the Sima family. After returning to the Sima family, perhaps after acknowledging her ancestors, she would take root in the Sima family. Moreover, this possibility was very high. Let's go and see if your spirit beasts are back. Okay, the only official website of the online book bar, everything else is fake. Chapter 1422. Sima Yue brought Shimin-Li back to Heartbreak Valley. The two of them did not return but went to look for Shimin Feng and told him that they were leaving. Shimin Feng had long guessed that with Sima Lu Xian and the others here, she would leave sooner or later. However, he didn't expect her to be in such a hurry to leave. She wanted to leave right after the battle. Do your master and the others know? I'll tell them after the battle. Sima Yue said. If he told Old Man Devil and the others, the disciples in the valley would definitely know. It would be bad if the morale of the army was shaken. The reason why he told Shimin Feng and Shimin-Li was because he was the younger brother and sister, so they had to be mentally prepared. That's good too. I hope you can heal your father's injury when you go back. Shimin Feng said. I hope so too. Everything in the inner region is much better, maybe we can find a way. Sima Yue said. I'm sure you can. You're our big sister. Shimin-Li held her arm and smiled. You have so much confidence in me. Sima Yue turned to look at her. She was more confident than her. Shimin-Li's face had already fully matured, and she was somewhat similar to herself back then. Looking at her, she would always think of her past life. Although she wanted to talk about her departure later, the news somehow got out. Everyone in the valley knew about it, and the more it spread, the more ridiculous it became, saying that she was going to abandon everyone. Therefore, many people came to ask her if it was true. Helplessly, she had no choice but to clarify that she was only leaving Valley to settle some matters. She was not leaving Paramount Valley. This place was still her roots and she would not give it up. Only after she said that did everyone relax and prepare for the battle. 10 Sunshine YS passed by in a flash. Old Man Devil and Ying Baichuan brought a group of people to Huayang Palace while Sima Yue and Shimin Feng went to the Zhongzheng clan. Back then, the Zhongzheng clan was the one who attacked the Shimin clan. Therefore, in order to kill their enemy, they had to destroy the Zhongzheng clan personally. The Zhongzheng clan was not very far from Heartbreak Valley. Through the teleportation formation, they arrived in less than a day. The people from Paramount Valley arrived outside the Zhongzheng residence and quickly surrounded the entire residence. The passers-by had long been frightened by the murderous aura and hid far away. With one look, it was obvious that they were here to cause trouble. These people seemed to be from Heartbreak Valley, right? Someone was hiding in the tea house, looking from afar and asked. What Heartbreak Valley? They formed a new force with Divine Devil Valley a few months ago, Paramount Valley. As a new force, why would Paramount Valley look for the Zhongzheng clan? From the looks of it, it doesn't seem to be anything good. Of course it's not a good thing. Someone said. He's here for revenge. Revenge? What's going on? What? You guys don't know? That person said proudly. What's going on? Don't keep us in suspense. Quickly tell us. Heavens, you guys really don't know. Tell me. Do you guys know who the second Valley Lord of Paramount Valley is? That person thought that he was the only one who knew this information and was pleased with himself. Isn't it the masked man? Do you know who the masked man is? I don't know. They didn't even know this? That person rolled his eyes at everyone and said, that person is called Shimin Feng. How is it? Do you guys know now? Shimin Feng? Isn't that the eldest son of the Shimin clan that was exterminated a few decades ago? That's right, it's him. But didn't they say that he's already dead? At that time, he was even taken down to Heartbreak Valley. Heartbreak Valley. Everyone shouted. No wonder he built his force in Heartbreak Valley. So that's why. I didn't expect that not only did he not die, he actually made a comeback in a few decades and even took down the Zhongzheng clan's old nest. This isn't something that he can do alone. But no matter what, not many people can do what he did. Since he's here for revenge, then there's going to be a show to watch today. It's one thing to watch the show, but it's another to lose one's life. I think it's better for us to leave first. Some cowardly and weak people left, while some bold people who liked to join in the fun stayed. After Sima Yue and the rest surrounded the Zhongzheng clan, the door opened quickly and a group of people ran out. Sima Yue recognized at a glance that the leader was the Zhongzheng clan's head, Zhongzheng Liing. For you, how dare you come to my Zhongzheng clan and behave atrociously? Zhongzheng Liing saw a group of people outside and shouted in a deep voice. Zhongzheng Liing, you came out personally to welcome us. Don't you know who we are? Shimin Feng crossed his arms and looked at Zhongzheng Liing with ridicule. If he didn't know who they were and what was going on, would he need to come out personally as the head of the clan? He would have called the gatekeeper to deal with it. Zhongzheng Liing saw Shimin Feng and that familiar face and said, Shimin Feng, it's really you. You're really not dead. How can I be dead when you're not dead? Shimin Feng saw Zhongzheng Liing and the hatred in his heart gushed out. He was so angry that his body trembled. Sima Yue grabbed his arm and said, Feng, don't worry. They won't be able to escape today. Shimin Feng nodded and became more clear-headed. Zhongzheng Liing saw that Shimin Feng's murderous aura had subsided after Sima Yue spoke a few sentences. He took another glance at her. Shimin Feng, what do you want to do by bringing so many people here today? An elder beside Zhongzheng Liing shouted. Paramount Valley's people looked at that person with a, "Are you stupid?" expression. Someone actually asked such a stupid question. No wonder the Zhongzheng clan went bankrupt in a few years. That year, your Zhongzheng clan took the opportunity of my eldest sister's birthday to poison us and slaughter my entire clan. Today, we'll make you pay with your blood. Shimin Feng gritted his teeth and said, Zhongzheng Liing looked up and laughed. With just you? You don't really think that you're stronger than us just because you destroyed our economy, do you? It was our mistake that we didn't kill you that year. Today, we'll correct this mistake and eliminate the root of the problem. Boom! Just as Zhongzheng Liing finished speaking, there was a loud bang behind him. The Zhongzheng clan's door was silently destroyed. Little Seven and Me Air were sitting on the wall with 2 thunderbolt bombs in their hands. The power just now was the thunderbolt bomb that flew out from Little Seven's hand. Because there was no spiritual power fluctuation, no one noticed it. Chapter 1423. Why are you talking so much nonsense with them? Just blast them away. Little Seven tossed the thunderbolt bomb in her hand back and forth as she spoke impatiently. If you want to fight, just fight. Why do you always talk so much nonsense? When the Zhongzheng clan's people saw that their door was destroyed, they were all enraged. Arrogant brat! I want your life! One of the hot-tempered men shouted. His eyes widened as he charged towards Xiaoqi. Little Seven was getting impatient. When she saw the other party make a move, She leaped up from the wall and attacked that person. The moment the two of them made a move, it ignited the flames of war between both sides. The Zongjing clan's people flew out from their residences one by one. The people from both sides immediately started fighting. Shimin Feng's ability wasn't enough to fight with Zongjing Liing. When Zongjing Liing attacked, Bai Xing went over. Shimin Feng was fighting with an elder of the Zongjing clan. For a moment, half of the sky above the city was occupied by people and beasts. Sima Yue also summoned Beastie. As soon as they came out, they were all extremely agitated. They looked at the Zongjing clan's people with fierce eyes, and their actions were not light. Others might not know Sima Yue's identity, but they knew it very well. It was because of the Zongjing family that Sima Yue had suffered so much. She had worked so hard all these years just for this day. Little Peng and the others still remembered that when she had ascended to the deity level, her soul had been restored, and her memories from her previous life had also been restored. At that time, she was on the verge of breaking down. If Wu Lingyu hadn't come over and helped her recover her emotions, who knew what would have happened? I can eat my fill this time. Hua Hua licked her lips. Flowers and vines filled the streets. Xiao Meng, on the other hand, used her spiritual power to attack. Everyone who was attacked by her became sluggish, and their movements became sluggish. Ye Guang took the opportunity to attack. With the two of them working together, the speed at which they killed their enemies was not any slower than the others. Chongming's movements were much simpler and more violent. As long as it was someone weaker than him, he would directly use spatial blast, exploding them into a bloody flower. Hua Hua saw how wasteful Chongming was and shouted, "Chongming, can't you be a little more frugal? You've exploded into pieces, how do you expect me to eat?" Chongming faintly glanced at her and said, "I don't see you growing after eating so much. What a waste." "You stop stuttering. If you don't hurry up and eat more, there will be corpses everywhere," Chongming reminded him. "Chongming, your wife is here," Hua Hua shouted and ran to deal with the enemy. Chongming was stunned for a moment. He thought that Hua Hua was refuting what he had just said, so he didn't look back. "Hubby, I missed you so much." Suddenly Rainbow's voice came from behind, startling him. However, before he could turn around, his body was hugged from behind. He turned his head and saw Rainbow's smiling face. "Hubby, did you miss me?" Rainbow giggled and said. Chongming saw that someone wanted to sneak attack him and Rainbow from behind. With a wave of his hand, that person exploded into pieces. He broke free from Rainbow's hand and turned to look at her and asked, "Why are you here?" "Not only me, the people from the clan are here too." Rainbow said, "We heard the news from the four-winged rock and rushed over. Luckily, we made it in time." Sima Yue was her sister and was also the contract master of the heavenly bird. She had even saved her uncle before. No matter how she looked at it, she couldn't be left out of her revenge. Thus, when she heard about this, she immediately rushed over. Chongming raised his head and saw a group of phoenixes rushing over. "This is a battlefield, be careful," Chongming warned. "I know." Rainbow's strength wasn't very strong, but she had many treasures on her. If she met someone stronger than her, she would throw all kinds of treasures over and the opponent would be overwhelmed. She was originally of the royal bloodline and had been modified by Qi Yan before. Thus, to their clan, she was the treasure of treasures. In order to ensure her safety, not only did they have all kinds of bodyguards, they even got many treasures for her to protect herself. Sima Yue was surprised to see Rainbow and the rest. She didn't expect them to come over and help. The Swan and I clan's battle power was much stronger than the other Phoenix clans. In addition, the people that Lu Fei brought over were the strongest in the clan. Thus, once they joined in, the battle tilted even more. Boom, boom. The sound of the thunderbolt bombs exploding was heard one after another. Not long later, the entire Zongjing clan's house was blown into ruins. The collapsed house started to burn fiercely and the flames soared to the sky. Sima Yue looked at the burning flames. It was as if she saw the time when Shimin Feng was burned down and heard her mother's voice. "Child, you have to live on. Don't take revenge, as long as you're happy, father, mother," she murmured. Her heart ached and a drop of tear fell from the corner of her eye. Just as the tear fell, the person sleeping in Heartbreak Valley opened his eyes. His divine sense returned and his eyes became clearer. He sat up from the bed and observed for a while. He knew where he was. He got up and went out. The valley was quiet and not as lively as before. He walked for a while before he saw a few disciples. They were left in the valley because they were not strong enough. Those people knew Wu Lingyu and knew that he was sleeping in Sima Yoyue's courtyard. "Where's Yue?" Wu Lingyu asked. "They went to destroy the Zhongzheng clan and Yin Yang Palace. Today." "They've been gone for 2 days. Where did Yue go?" "Zhongzheng clan." Before those people finished speaking, Wu Lingyu had opened the space tunnel and left. On the Zhongzheng clan side, the battle was coming to an end. Just when everyone thought that the battle was about to end, the Zhongzheng clan suddenly released the light of advancement. Then, from a courtyard that was protected by a barrier and did not collapse, came the aura of a paragon. Old Ancestor has successfully advanced. Old Ancestor will definitely kill all of you. The Zhongzheng clan people shouted excitedly. Because of this aura, the battle between both sides stopped for a while. I didn't expect the Zhongzheng clan to have such a strong person. Shimin Feng returned to Sima Yue's side and said, "No matter what, it won't change the outcome of the Zhongzheng clan being destroyed." Sima Yue was not anxious. She looked at them and said, "Soon, the light of advancement dissipated. The heavenly Tao protection also dissipated. An arrogant voice came from the courtyard. I finally broke through. Today, I'll use your blood to celebrate for me." After saying that, a white figure came out from the courtyard and flew into the air. He looked at Sima Yue and Shimin Feng with eyes full of killing intent. Chapter 1424. The person who came was Zhongzheng clan's old ancestor, Zhongzheng Hongfeng. Please search to see the most complete. Update the fastest. Zhongzheng Li Ying saw Zhongzheng Hongfeng and said in surprise, "Old ancestor, you finally succeeded in advancing." Zhongzheng Hongfeng nodded slightly. Seeing those people, he frowned. He had only been in seclusion for a few years, and he had actually become like this. "Why do you want to exterminate my Zhongzheng clan?" "Of course, blood for blood." Shimin Feng coldly snorted. "Blood for blood? When did my Zhongzheng clan have a dispute with your Heartbreak Valley? If I remember correctly, you are just a newly established force. We have no dealings with each other." Zhongzheng Hongfeng said. "Old ancestor, he is Shimin Feng." Zhongzheng Li Ying reminded. "Shimin Feng?" Zhongzheng Hongfeng didn't react at first. Later, he remembered the Shimin clan that was destroyed. "He is a member of Shimin clan?" "Yes. He was the legitimate son of Shimin clan. The one who was forced to jump down Heartbreak Valley." Zhongzheng Liang said. "I can't believe you didn't eliminate the source of trouble back then." Zhongzheng Hongfeng glared at him. If he had killed him back then, would this have happened? Back then, he was already seriously injured and fell into Heartbreak Valley. Naturally, we thought that he would not survive. Zhongzheng Liang also regretted it, but who knew that Shimin Feng would survive after falling into Heartbreak Valley? Not only did he survive, but he also established a sect and gathered so much power in such a short period of time to take revenge on them. "Old man, do you still remember me?" Sima Yue asked. "You are?" Zhongzheng Hongfeng stared at Sima Yue with some doubts in his eyes. He didn't know her, but her tone didn't sound right, as if they knew each other. It seems that the old man is really forgetful. We even drank fruit wine together. You told me not to mind the grudges between the two families. Some things are beyond my control. Sima Yue sneered as she recalled the time when they had a drink. "You are." Zhongzheng Hongfeng recalled that scene. The person who was drinking and chatting with him wasn't the girl in front of him. "My surname is Sima Yue." Sima Yue said. "No. You are not Sima Yue, you are Shimin Yue." Zheng Hongfeng said affirmatively. "Yue? How is it possible? You? Killed Sima Yue." She can't still be Yue Yu's exclaimed. Yue Yue, Yue 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 Shi Yue Shi Yue 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 Yue. You know. But she is indeed only a few decades old. She can't be Shimin Yoyues. Moreover, she came up from the lower continent. Zhong Zheng Li Ying was very sure. When they first found out about Sima Yue, they even went out of their way to investigate her. They were very sure of it. You are Shimin Yue. Zhongxing Hongfeng looked at Sima Yue and said. Sima Yue laughed when she saw them discussing her identity so enthusiastically. You have a good memory, old master. Are you really Shimin Yue? How is that possible? The people of the Shimin clan all cried out. What's impossible? Sima Yue sneered. Before I died, I said that I would definitely come back to take revenge on you. Now, I'm back to take revenge on you. Come back from the dead? How is that possible? What's impossible? Sima Yue looked at them coldly. Even the heavens couldn't stand what you did to my Shimin clan and allowed me to come back to life. I'm here to take revenge on you. I'll return what you did to us bit by bit. You really came back to life? Not only were the people of the Zhongzheng clan shocked, even the people of Paramount Valley were shocked. Sima Yue was Shimin Yue. This news was too shocking for them. Since there were people of the Shimin clan in Paramount Valley, they didn't deliberately hide what happened back then. Hence, everyone knew that the Zhongzheng clan exterminated the Shimin clan on Shimin Yue's birthday. When they first heard this, they lamented that Shimin Yue and Sima Yue had the same name. If Sima Yue was Shimin Yue, based on her character, who knew how guilty she would be? They didn't expect that they were really the same person. No wonder she hated the Zhongzheng clan so much. It was because they exterminated her clan. No wonder she worked so hard all these years. It was because she had a blood feud with them. All of this made sense now. At this moment, everyone wasn't shocked by her rebirth. Instead, they felt sorry for her from the bottom of their hearts. It turned out that she had suffered so much. When the bold onlookers heard this news, they were shocked beyond words. There was actually someone who came back to life in this world. Wasn't this too shocking? Sima Yue didn't want to reveal her identity. However, when facing her old enemies, she wanted them to know who was the one who came back to take revenge on them. She wanted to clear the name of the Shimin clan. Old dog Zhongzheng, you killed my entire clan back then. Today is the day you pay your debts. Shimin Li looked at them and shouted hatefully. You want to exterminate my Zhongzheng clan? You must be dreaming. Zhongzheng Hongfeng recovered from his shock and snorted coldly. He had used this time to sense his surroundings. He was sure that no one in Paramount Valley was stronger than him. In addition to the Zhongzheng clan's foundation, it wasn't difficult to counterattack and win. With the old ancestor here, there will be no problem today. Old ancestor, you must take revenge for the people who died in the clan. Don't worry. As long as we kill their leader, the rest will be easy. Zhongzheng Hongfeng said. Sima Yue's spirit beasts are very powerful. Only the old ancestor can deal with them. Don't worry. I won't let anyone from the Shimin clan go today. Zhongzheng Hongfeng looked at Sima Yue and said confidently. Who dares to touch my woman? Sima Yue heard this voice. Her eyes lit up and the corner of her mouth rose. Who? Zhongzheng Hongfeng was surprised. Someone could approach him without him noticing. A small Zhongzheng clan dares to be so arrogant here. Wu Lingyu's figure suddenly appeared beside Sima Yue. Everyone was shocked by his move. This strength, Zhongzheng Hongfeng frowned. When did Wu Lingyu become so powerful? I didn't expect it to be Your Highness the Holy Sun. Today is a matter between the Zhongzheng clan and Paramount Valley. Your Highness the Holy Sun won't interfere, right? This book came from. Chapter 1425. The Zhongzheng clan used to rely on the Yin Yang Palace, and the Yin Yang Palace relied on the Sage Pavilion. Therefore, The Zhongzheng clan was also dependent on the Sage Pavilion. As the holy son of the Sage Pavilion, Wu Lingyu should be helping the Zhongzheng clan in theory. But when they saw him standing beside Sima Yue, the Zhongzheng clan lost their confidence. Now, they could only hope that he would not side with anyone. But Wu Lingyu did not retreat as he expected. Instead, he hugged Sima Yue's shoulder and said, "You want to kill my woman and I don't care? Aren't you being a little too optimistic?" Zhongzheng Hongfeng's face darkened and said, "Isn't your highness holy son afraid of being blamed by the sect?" "Hehe, do you think that the sect will blame me because of you? You think too highly of yourselves." Wu Lingyu was merciless. He did not have his usual humble and kind attitude. The people on this side all laughed. Wu Lingyu's words were merciless. Zhongzheng Hongfeng brought up the sect in an attempt to suppress him, but was directly denied by him. The Zhongzheng clan was just a force under them. In recent years, they had been so close to the mysterious force. They had long stopped relying on the Sage Pavilion. Their position was getting worse and worse. How could the Sage Pavilion punish Wu Lingyu because of them? This was a slap in the face. "Your Highness Holy Son, moreover, if the sect knew that you had been working with the mysterious force, I'm afraid that I would have been ordered to bring people to eradicate you. You betrayed the sect first, and now you want to rely on the sect's protection. Do you really think that the people of the Sage Pavilion are fools?" Wu Lingyu glanced at him. He looked like he was not a fool. Sima Yue could not help but laugh. Zhongzheng Hongfeng was speechless when faced with this accusation. Their cooperation with the mysterious force had always been a secret. How did Wu Lingyu know? If the Sage Pavilion knew about this, they probably wouldn't help them today. "Lingyu, why are you here?" Wu Lingyu asked. "I woke up. Seeing that you weren't around, I came over." Wu Lingyu turned to look at Sima Yue, her eyes so gentle that it seemed as though water would drip from them. "But won't you be weak for a period of time after you wake up? This is a battlefield." Sima Yue looked at him disapprovingly. "Don't worry, I won't do anything reckless. Although my strength hasn't recovered to its peak, it's more than enough to deal with a paragon." Wu Lingyu said confidently. "Really? If not, I have other ways to deal with him." Sima Yue didn't put Zhongzheng Hongfeng in her eyes. In her previous life, she knew that Zhongzheng Hongfeng was on the verge of advancement. After a few decades, he might have already advanced. Since she dared to bring people here, she naturally considered this situation. Therefore, she had come prepared. "When have I ever lied to you?" Wu Lingyu said confidently, "Besides, aren't you a doctor?" Sima Yue grabbed his hand and checked him. She found that his body was weaker than before, but as he said, it was no problem to deal with someone like Zhongzheng Hongfeng. "You can only deal with this one." She let go of him and requested, "Okay." She had so many people, he didn't need to take on all of them. Originally, she had a plan, and he didn't need to do anything. But he wanted to be involved in everything she did. At that time, he saw how much pain she was in. The contract made him feel her pain and regret. Therefore, his hatred towards them was just as strong. Let's end the hatred of the past today. From now on, you are only you, no longer burdened by the past. He muttered, and then attacked Zhongzheng Hongfeng. Zhongzheng Hongfeng had seen Wu Lingyu before, and knew that his strength wasn't particularly high. Although he was shocked by his previous move, he didn't think highly of him. However, what he didn't know was that Wu Lingyu's soul fusion had increased his light attribute strength by several levels. The strength of a supreme rank was no longer enough. When Wu Lingyu moved, the others followed, and the battle started again. The people of Zhongzheng clan thought that there was hope now that their ancestor had come out, so their morale was boosted. Unfortunately, this still couldn't change the fact that Paramount Valley was stronger than them. Therefore, the final outcome wasn't surprising. After Zhongzheng Hongfeng was split in half by Wu Lingyu, the other people of Zhongzheng clan were quickly killed. Even if they surrendered, Paramount Valley didn't care. The Zhongzheng clan would end up the same way as the Shimen clan. However, in the end, Sima Yue's heart softened. She really couldn't bear to kill those innocent women and children. Wu Lingyu had already returned to her side. Seeing the unwillingness in her eyes, he grabbed her hand and said to Shimen Feng, "If you don't remove the roots, there will be endless trouble. I'll take her away first. Shimin Feng glanced at them and nodded. Okay, I'll keep an eye on this side. Wu Lingyu opened a passage and left with Sima Yue. Sima Yue struggled for a while, but still followed him in the end. Wu Lingyu was right. If they didn't remove the roots, there would be endless trouble in the future. She wasn't afraid of anything, but she had to consider for Shimin Feng and Paramount Valley. However, she couldn't just stand by and watch those innocent people get killed. She might as well leave. Wu Lingyu brought her to his little realm. When she was sad after recovering her memories, he brought her here. Now that she was here again, it felt like a lifetime ago. Sima Yue went to wash up. She washed away all the bloodstains on her body and washed away all the hatred of the past. When she appeared in front of Wu Lingyu again, the aura on her body was different. Wu Lingyu lay on the recliner that she used to lie on. Seeing the lovely person who was much more relaxed, he waved at her. Sima Yue went over. There were no other chairs, so she sat on the edge of the recliner. Suddenly, a hand reached out from behind her and pulled her down, causing her to lie down together with him. Sima Yue rested her head on Wu Lingyu's shoulder. She closed her eyes and said, "Don't talk. Let me lean on you for a while." Wu Lingyu put one hand on her head and the other on her waist. He pulled her into his arms and kissed her forehead gently, saying, "Rest. I'm here." The words, "I'm here," made her tear up. The tears that fell wet the clothes on his shoulders. After so many years, they finally got their revenge. However, she wasn't as happy as she had expected. Because no matter what, her family would never come back. And she would never see her parents and relatives who loved her. She would never hear their doting calls. "Father, Mother, he misses you." Chapter 1426. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu stayed in the little realm for 2 days. When Wu Lingyu felt that the matters outside were almost settled, he brought Sima Yue out. At this moment, the Zhongzheng clan was only left with a pile of ruins and some flames were still burning. At first glance, it was similar to the time when the Shimin clan was destroyed. Shimin Feng and Bai Sheng were commanding those people to clean up the battlefield. When they saw Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu coming out, they flew over. "What's the situation now?" Sima Yue asked. "It's almost done." The Great Valley Lord side also sent news, saying that the battle over there has already ended. Yang Palace has already been destroyed, and there weren't many casualties among the valley's disciples. They have already sent people to take over the businesses over there. Shimin Feng said. "Really?" Sima Yue felt relieved. "I knew it. As long as Master and the rest take action, we will definitely succeed. However, there's something. What's wrong?" Sima Yue was worried when she saw their hesitation. "It's about your identity. These 2 days it has already spread. Many people know your identity." Shimin Feng said. Someone had actually been reborn. Such explosive news naturally spread very quickly. It was not enough to describe it as one person spreading it to 100 people. Therefore, many people knew her identity now, including the other disciples in the valley, including Sima Lu Xian and the others who were waiting in the valley. Sima Yue immediately thought of Sima Lu Xian and her heart sank. "I understand. Then do you want to go back first?" "The valley." Shimin Feng wanted to say something but stopped. Presumably, Sima Lu Xian and Sima Xiuqi also knew about this. He didn't know what they would think. Sima Yue was silent for a moment, then nodded and said, "I still have to explain this to them." There was no way to avoid it, so it was better to make things clear as soon as possible. As for whether they could accept it or not, that was not something she could control. Wu Lingyu held her hand and said, "No matter what, I'll be with you." Yeah. Sima Yue smiled at him. She wasn't sure about Sima Lu Xian's reaction. Fortunately, he would stand by her side unconditionally. She and Wu Lingyu returned to the valley. When they were outside the valley, she was still a little nervous. She was afraid that she would encounter something she didn't want to see. Sima Yue and Shimin Yue had the same soul, which was why she could accept her so easily. Even Yin Lin said the same thing. But for Sima Lu Xian and the others, They might not be able to accept this. She sighed in her heart. Now that she was here, she didn't want to go back. I think they will understand. Wu Lingyu held her hand, giving her the courage to face it directly. But Sima Yue felt uneasy. I've been with my father for so long. I don't want to see him disappointed. Grandpa and Grandma are so good to me. Don't be afraid. If they don't recognize you, then Wu Lingyu didn't finish his sentence, which made Sima Yue turn to look at him. Then what should we do? Sima Yue asked. There's nothing we can do. They can't not recognize you, so we'll beat them up until they recognize you. If they were ordinary people, I have thousands of ways to deal with them. But they are your family, so those methods are useless. Wu Lingyu said helplessly. Hee. Sima Yue was amused by his expression, and her mood recovered a lot. She smiled and said, Let's go. We have to face it eventually. The two of them flew towards the valley. When they reached the sect, they stopped and walked. When the disciples in the valley saw Sima Yue, they greeted her warmly. They didn't change much because she was reborn. If there was a change, it was that they looked at her with more enthusiasm. Reborn? How many people like her were there in this continent? One of them was their Vice Valley Lord. How awesome was that? Sima Yue nodded to those people as a response. Unknowingly, she walked to her courtyard. She took a deep breath and pushed open the courtyard door. Sure enough, she saw Sima Luxian sitting at the stone table in a daze. Sima Luxian saw Sima Yue coming back and waved at her. The way he looked at her didn't change, it was still full of love. Sima Yue walked over in a daze. You're back? Are you hurt? Fine. Sima Yue said, Father, that thing, do you know? You mean you're reborn? Sima Luxian smiled and said, I knew about it long ago. You knew about it long ago? Sima Yue was stunned. Sima Luxian nodded and said, Yes, a long time ago. Sima Yue asked, When you were born? Sima Luxian recalled, After Yin Lin saved us father and daughter, he once told me alone that you have 2 lives. At first, your soul wasn't complete and you couldn't cultivate. You could only cultivate after your soul was complete. When I saw how powerful you were at Sunset Mountain, I already knew about it. But I can't cultivate because of poison, not because of my soul. Sima Yue didn't expect Yin Lin to tell him about it long ago. Thinking about it, he could tell her that before entering the immortal land. Naturally, he knew about it long ago. It wasn't strange for him to tell Sima Luxian. Sima Luxian looked at her tangled face and pulled her to sit beside him and said, It doesn't matter what the reason is. It doesn't matter who you were before. What matters is that you're my daughter. You're the product of your mother and me. That's enough. Did grandfather and the others know? I told them long ago, so they knew. Sima Luxian said, You don't have to worry about what will happen to them. Did grandfather and the others know about it at that time? Yes. I told them long ago so that they would know the truth. Would they believe such an incredible thing? I told them that Yin Lin said it, so they naturally believed it. Father. Sima Yue looked at Sima Luxian emotionally. She thought that she would face his accusations, disappointment, and anger when she came back. She didn't expect that it would make her extremely touched. Your father is right. Sima Xiuqi and Huang Yingying walked out of the house and looked at Sima Yue with a smile. We knew about this long ago. What we didn't know before was your previous identity and experience. But now we know. Huang Yingying walked over and hugged her, saying, My poor child, I didn't expect you to have experienced so many things in the past. Don't be too sad that your relatives are gone. You still have your grandfather and grandmother. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.